Well, hello everybody, welcome to another video. I hope we're all doing good. I was starting at a weird place here today. First of all, we're starting a bit later than we have been most other episodes, so hello, welcome to everyone. It's really cool to see chat active before we even get going, by the way, guys. People watching from Colorado, Arizona, all over the place. I guess it's morning for a lot of people. Anyway, so welcome back. This is part 10. Yeah, I think it's part 10. We're level 14. Now, remember what I said. The game scales largely from levels 1 to 20. For the base game, that's generally most of the scaling. Well, no, I'm lying. Basically 1 to 25, kind of. So we're, like, decidedly mid-game at the moment. This is kind of where I like the balance to be at the moment. And we will keep pushing levels up. We'll probably level up again at some point today. And let the quest rewards keep piling up and getting better and stronger. But yeah, on the last part, we ended at Bruma. And if you look here, I'm not at Bruma at all. Oh man, the lighting dropped. Dude, hold on, let me reload this save. I guess I was in the menu for so long. Look at the thumbnail, you can immediately... Not that one. I was in the the menu for so long, I was setting other things up. Getting my coffee, getting ready. The sun went down, I guess. Oh no, it still just looks a little bit dark. Why does it look so dark suddenly? I wonder if it's the Lumen Remastered thing is tweaked, because you can see that the shadows aren't really there either. Look at the loading screen here. The thumbnail they got. Look at how sharp the shadows were, how incredibly beautiful that log looked. I mean, it still looks alright, I guess. It looks just a lot more grey suddenly, doesn't it? That's so odd. Anyway, I found this beautiful area. Look at where we are. We are north of Skingrad. We're out in the middle of nowhere, really. I found a little farm as I moved up here. So here's what I was going to do. I was going to load game. I was going to go to... Which one was it? The City Isle here, I think, is good. So, if you remember in the last part, we had that infinite loading screen. We did an Ayleid ruin, Fanaska Sasa, or whatever it was. Got an Ayleid statue. But then we hit a loading screen... And the game basically crashed, and I hadn't saved the entire time in the dungeon. So I went through and I replayed it. So we still got the glass axe. Unfortunately, this time that I replayed it, that woman didn't drop that epic bow where she had, like, you know, the bow was enchanted and the arrows were enchanted and everything. That didn't drop this time, which is a bit of a shame. I guess the loot re-rolled or something, I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, so I've done that now, and I'll tell you what, guys, you know my big issue was that I didn't quick save while I was in there. I forgot to quick save again. Oh god, I shouldn't admit it. So yeah, I basically, you know, the final boss was that vampire matriarch or whatever. I died to him on the last hit of the whole dungeon. The last hit, and had to replay it all again. Which, yeah, wasn't that bad. I mean, it's just a one-floor dungeon, one-floor Ayleid structure. There's actually another one with another statue we could have got on the road up to Bruma, which I might have a look at in a second. But yeah, so anyway, I did that. Did a bit of alchemy, I think. I was mostly interested in healing potions. Yeah, because we were a bit low on them, so I've got, you know, a nice collection of healing potions here. Feather potions probably would have been smart as well. I didn't really think about that. Now, if I can remember what gives feather really quickly, maybe we could cook some up. But the truth is, I don't really remember what it was. Feather potions are always handy. So flax. Oh, flax was definitely good. And then something else with feather. I'm just scanning through here. Was that feather? No, paralyzed. Feathers on Lady's Mantle. We could maybe cook some up. Got feather anywhere else? I mean, we're getting a lot of ingredients at this point. It's a shame I can't just do alchemy directly out of the chest. That would be so handy. Sacred Lotus. Hopefully, this will make an actual thing. It won't have downsides. There's a chance it will. So flax, Sacred Lotus. Ugh. Okay, well, this is feather. 164 points for nearly 10 minutes real time. But it does 3 damage to us. That's pretty good. And the ingredients are fine. So I'm going to make a spoiled potion here. I'm going to call it spoiled spoilers. That's funny how often I type the word spoiler, I guess. Spoiled feather. Do you know another one of those, right, where I type and I always get the wrong word? And I swear to God, all right, I swear, before I give you this anecdote, it's not that I type this all the time. It's seriously, it's not, okay? All right? I just want you all to know, it's not that I type this all the time. But whenever I type the word dirt, my instinct is to add the Y to go dirty. And I always do that. And I'm like, I seriously don't look at this. You think I'm looking up dirty videos, Google, oh, dirty videos. I don't type the word, but for some reason, like, that's just in my head now. And I think it's because the Y is so close to the T. Anyway, nobody's going to believe me. Spoiled feather. Here we go. Create. We'll make a couple. Don't forget, it's double every time we click create. So yeah, and I'll take a little bit of damage in order to, you know, walk fast. I kind of like stuff like this. Like, I saw someone made a custom spell for unlocking things that he called Melt Lock, and he said just for flavor, he puts, like, damaging effects on them. So it blows up a lock for him, but it also sets him on fire briefly. Dirt, potatoes, natural environment. Dirt is a potato's natural environment. I mean, yeah, there you go. That's good. I like that. That explains things, definitely. All right, now let's redeposit here. So we can drop those. We can drop the new vampire dust. I could sell that vampire dust as well. I think I'll hold it as an ingredient for now. We're not too hard up for money. Bit of blood grass. Okay, good. Now, our capacity here is 356 out of 460. Kerry started playing yesterday, and immediately she was in inventories, like looking at encumbrance while in the inventory, which is something I haven't been doing. And I was like, oh, that's handy. So I'll probably start doing that. Let's see. So our encumbrance is 356. If we drink the potion, one of our new potions of spoiled feather. Look, we've got some even stronger ones. There you go. We're up to 600. If we cast feather... Well, okay, we can't use light and load yet, but we are getting close to leveling our alteration up. Alteration is really handy. I like it a lot as a skill. So alteration's at 48. If I do just a couple more of these, we'll probably hit 49 soon. There you go. So once we hit level 50, we can do our apprentice stuff. Now, you might wonder, okay, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm vending, guys. We're going to sell a bunch of stuff. So we come to these drawers, and I want to withdraw this elven bow, this warhammer. A lot of this is stuff that I picked up just on the road. We can pick up that. I kind of want to keep all of those, I guess. So is that it? I've got everything. I'm already holding everything. Really? Oh, the arrows of Drain Magicka. Oh, they're enchanted, so that's kind of fun. No. Let's get rid of them. I'm not using arrows. It's not a thing for this playthrough. So we'll do that. Okay, good. So I've got loads of carry capacity left. All right, move over, Earthor. Oh, God. Yeah, this is a bit of a weird one. Everyone came with me back to the Imperial City. So we got all the way up to Bruma. I thought I told people to wait at Bruma, just enjoy themselves. But no, instead they followed me here. So we now have, like, the crew in the Imperial City. I also had a moment where both Martin and Joffrey were on horses. And it was epic. It was really cool to have, like, a horse convoy with me. It's a shame there's not, like, a formal system for that, you know, with the followers. By the way, there is something of a formal system in the game.
Hail, good citizen.
So, you know how... You can see how this game's structured. You only really get followers if you go onto a quest and you stall it and you don't complete it when otherwise you're expected to. When we get to the DLCs, you will see there are, like, hireable companions. And in fact, today we're going to go to Frostcrag Spire, and you guys will see we get a companion there as well. Sorry, I know, minor spoilers, but you'll see. When you, like, max out a guild, you can get, like, a little follower. So there are some that aren't just based on stalling quests, but those guys aren't essential. When they die, they're gone for good. And anyway, you can basically only get one or two, right? There's very, very, very few actual companions in those formal systems. What's funny, though, is if you get about 8 or 9 in vanilla, when you pick up the 9th, you get a little message on the top left saying you have too many followers.
Today's Black Horse Courier.
What is it, citizen?
All right, you got a copy of the Black Horse Courier. So you can, when you get like 9, it will give you a message saying you have too many followers, which is kind of like there's a formal system in there, which is really weird because it's so high of a cap it doesn't mean anything. And also, by the way, it literally doesn't mean anything. It's just a message and it does nothing else. By the way, this guy so earnestly...
Hail, good citizen. How can I be of service?
Saying to us, you know, the Imperial Guards are so nice and cool. It kind of kicked up a massive discussion on the forums last night about Skyrim. So in Skyrim, obviously there's a civil war. It's the Stormcloak Rebellion, and Skyrim is seceding from the Empire. And there's certain things about the end of Oblivion that I can't talk about yet. I don't want to get into the whole civil war. That's what really more of a thing for playing Skyrim, I guess. But anyway, a lot of basically at the very start of that game, you're immediately thrust into the conflict, and you kind of get to pick a side. Do you want to be with the Rebellion or do you want to be with the Empire? Now, when I played Skyrim, I picked Empire. It was very natural to me. As someone who had come from Oblivion, as someone who had come from Morrowind, I liked the Empire. And you know, but there's this thing. Everyone loves an underdog story. Everyone wants to be the plucky, you know, upstart that goes and does their own thing. There's kind of this anti-Empire, you know, sentiment that pervades pop culture. And so, you know, a lot of people also so if you never played Morrowind, if you never played Skyrim, Oblivion, you just jump into Skyrim. You don't know anything about the Empire, and you just think, oh, fuck these dickheads, and you join up with the Nords without question, really. And there's like that big divide between a lot of players. Are you new to the series or not? And a lot of the time that kind of determines which way people end up going. There are a lot of factors, and when you get into the lore, like properly into the lore, I think the Skyrim lore is really good because it is a very complicated issue. And there's no real right or wrong answer to it. But, because there are so many facets involved. The reasons why the rebellion's happening, and whether the leaders are dicks or short-sighted or, you know, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, it was interesting. There was a comment now that the Oblivion remaster's out. There's a lot of those people from that category who just joined the rebellion blindly, saying, you know what, I kind of get the Empire now. I kind of get it. I feel like they're quite nice and decent. And then, you know, a lot of other cool conversations started spiraling out of it. It was like my favorite lore thread I've read about Elder Scrolls in years. It was so cool seeing everyone's different takes, saying, oh, you can't just judge the Empire based on the Heartland. Look at what a shithole Morrowind is in the third game. But then again, by that argument, by the way, I would say a lot of places aren't really shitholes in the first two games. And the first two games give you a real sense of scope and scale. It was just really good. It was really interesting. It went all over the place. So now whenever I see these guys, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I do like these guys. A lot of people love talking about the 3 Imperial Guards that come with you to Kvatch. Right, what am I doing here? Sorry, my idea was to rant while selecting a new quest, and I completely failed. What we're trying to do is find the Ambakano thing. The collector. There we go. Because we got the statue, so I want to go give him the statue. Once again... Well, hold on, what? He's offered to pay me well for any statues I find. Please tell me I have the statue. Please tell me this isn't the wrong file. No, I do. There you go. There's the alien statue. So it just doesn't give me a quest marker. I don't remember where his house was. It was here in the Temple District, wasn't it? There's the Temple of the One. Where that... Didn't we read that on episode? That someone got assassinated in the Temple of the One in the brief history of the Empire, remember? Hager's house. Imagine just living in a regular-ass house right next to such an incredible landmark. We're looking for Ambakano's house. I really thought it would give me a marker. Maybe it has given me a marker. It's just overlapping. No, it didn't give me a marker. The collector. Go. Inspect. Show me where. He's offered to... Does he not live in this district? Maybe he lives in the Talos Plaza? It could be there, actually.
Is there a coin?
Especially as the Empire's trying to execute you. Yeah, I mean, I honestly think... So, like, I got to reading and reminding myself a lot of what's going on in Skyrim. I really think Skyrim did very well. People always kind of have this attitude. In fact, you've heard it from me a little bit. I'm not ashamed to say it. Where it's like, oh, Morrowind was so rich and alien and interesting, and the politics was so good. And I'll tell you, by the way, the Daggerfall politics are very good as well. And it got so boring in the later games. It got so bad in the later games. I'll tell you what, I think Skyrim is so cool. There's a lot of interest going on with the Empire and the bigger stage and the Civil War. And then basically they throw dragons into the middle of it. It's really cool. I know it's a more action-oriented game, and I know role-playing choices suffered, and I know the quest lines are shorter, and I know, like... It's a lot more, like, surface of a game, but they did do some really cool world building with it, I think. You know, all the stuff about Hammerfell seceding. I cannot see Ambakano. Oh, there you go. Ambakano Manor. Why don't you give me a quest marker here? Outrageous. There we go. We got one of our own now. I mean, Jesus Christ, it was like 6 in the morning when I started trying to do this. And now it's 9:30 already. Here we go. Ambakano Manor. Okay.
Good to see you again, sir. Shall I escort you upstairs to see my master?
Hello, Jewel Ring. Yeah, sure. Show me to him right away.
Very good. Please follow me.
How much do you think he's going to pay us for this? And is it going to be a worthwhile amount of gold at this point in the adventure? Something tells me no. All the quest rewards are such a small amount of gold. It's so funny they were so restrictive about the gold rewards as well for quests.
The treasure hunter. Please, have a seat.
Because you can only do a quest once. It's not like they're farmable. You'd think they'd be conservative about the drops. Not these.
Ah, yes. My treasure hunting friend. What can I do for you?
Yeah, you can also not pick a side. Yeah, I read that. I read that if you stay out of the conflict for long enough, there's like an alternate path, sort of a middle of the road. Can you can essentially organize a cessation of hostilities? Temporary though it may be. I'm not sure. Here, alien statues. I got one for you.
Yes. Have you found another statue for me?
Yep, sell statue for 500 gold.
Ah, a second ancestor. Excellent. I had wondered whether the first was just luck, but I see now that you have some skill at this work. By good fortune, my research has uncovered some new information that may help you in your search for the remaining statues.
Well, what have you learned?
I have found the names of a number of alien cities where the statues may have been taken for safekeeping during the siege of White Gold Tower. The only modern sites that still bear their ancient names are Moranda, Macamente, Wenyanduik, Ninendiva, and Fanakas.
We did Fanakas.
There is no guarantee that my sources are correct, of course, but these should at least provide a starting point for your search.
Cool. Do you have any rumors?
Milona Umbranox, Ariana Valga, and Narina Carvane seem to rule their counties perfectly well without male assistance.
Okay, so what we
You too.
what we hopefully now have are a few quest markers. I don't know, maybe not. Do we have a note we can refer to? So yeah, when he stands up, he actually needs to go to the cupboard to do it. But this display case will actually now fill. Oh, hello everyone. This is so weird. Will fill with more statues. Like he's put one in, he'll put more in. There are a lot of weird ways you can trick this. There's going to be 10 in total. There's a lot of ways you can accidentally mess it up and he'll only ever have 9. So like, for example, if you'd already collected 2 or more before the quest even begins, he's scripted to just put 1 in at the first moment, and then he'll never put the others in. But yeah, by the time he's got a schedule, eventually he will walk over there, he will put it in, and next time we arrive, we'll see that there's another one in this display case. What we can do, by the way, is once we've done the quest, we could steal those all back off of him. I don't know. We're not much of a thief. We're not very sneaky, but maybe one day with enough alteration, we can be invisible. We can take him off of him and put him for display in our own place, which might be kind of fun. Right, okay. Now, how's our feather doing? Because we are going to get a bit burdened soon. In fact, is our feather still even on us? I don't see the effect in the bottom corner. Yeah, it is. Definitely is. All right, let's go to the market district. You know, it's curious to me that some of these districts still are not actually being discovered, so to speak. Like,
You have my ear, citizen.
like, how do we discover this? It's not discovering. Come on, Elven Gardens. Gimme. Maybe the way we can discover them is by going into the center of town and going near that gate. That could work out. So yeah, I really wasn't planning on doing a big Imperial City arc here. Just wanted to pop back, sell some stuff,
Everybody needs a...
and then maybe show you the thing north of Skingrad that I went to, because I did think that place was really, really cool. What has sort of occurred to me last night while I was playing is I haven't really... So, do we even have Green Emperor Way unlocked? Oh no, well that's the palace. Yeah, I don't know. We should be able to walk up to the gate and it should say, discovered the Elven Gardens, but it's not discovering it for us. So, I don't know. So much Fly Mantia. The alchemy ingredient I remember from this game is Fly Mantia, so this is quite fitting, I'd say. Look at it. It's absolutely everywhere. I don't know whether it's easier to see in the remaster or what, but Jesus. Alright, this should be the market district here, right? Yeah. It occurred to me that basically we haven't just explored. I've been quite guided the past couple of episodes, you know. I haven't just sort of wandered out into the wilderness and seen what I found, and that's what I did while I was just like playing last night. And you know, and I couldn't do much because I want to do it all on screen. Here we go.
The last to read today.
A fighting chance. Let's sell here. Yes, we could use the DLC vendors, but I don't think I will for now. It's kind of awkward that we're back at the IC right now because if we're going to visit Frostcrag Spire soon, I think we buy the upgrades for it here too. But you know, whatever.
Welcome to A Fighting Chance. I'm Rosan, proprietor. I sell the best swords in the city, and I offer advanced training for armorers.
I'm too poor for that district. That's why I don't get the fast travel unlock. Well, that makes sense. And hello, Mixed Shimmer. Welcome, welcome. Hello to everyone. Let's see. We can coerce.
Oh, please.
She loves a good bit of admiration.
That's great. Well done.
Okay. No, she doesn't love a good bit of admiration. Sorry. She hates admiration. Well, I think I boast. Do this, do this, do this.
That's great.
That was good. We can admire.
Don't talk such rot.
Coerce, joke,
well
boast.
Done.
That was rubbish. That came out on even. That came out even. Not very good. I think we coerce, boast.
Great story. What? Not now.
No.
Not later.
That was dumb.
Not ever.
I think we boast.
Really? And
Coerce.
Please.
Joke.
Don't waste your flattery on me.
Admire. I'm amazed how much of this LP is actually doing the personality minigame. I don't remember it being this much of my time in game.
Where'd
Joke.
you get that? Don't try to. Oh, please.
All right, I played that one perfectly. That was like super perfect. Every single thing went perfectly on that conversation.
You can't. Where'd you get that? That's good. Really interesting.
Mm-hmm. Very interesting. I'm an interesting guy. What do you want from me? What else do you want to know?
Now. Remarkable. That's great. That's really too much.
And then... That's such a horrible line delivery, by the way, there. She's supposed to be laughing at a joke. Oh, that's great. That's really too much. You know, like, really into it. But she just delivered that so flatly.
Where'd you get that? Remarkable. Where'd you get that?
That one was really good as well. That was like a 10 out of 10. Okay, hi.
If it's broken, I can fix it.
I don't want you to fix it. I want to repair it myself so I get the stats.
Some of my fine wares.
I am looking to sell, actually, and I'm going to go all the way up to 70%. She's got quite a lot of money. I don't think she's that hard up. Let's go 65. What does she sell? A battle axe of hatred. Pretty cool. Drains a bunch of stats. Some repair hammers, which we could pick up.
You're trying to drive me out of business.
Oh, come on, lady. Now, one of the reasons I didn't sell off screen, you might be thinking, WP, why don't you sell off screen? Actually, I did try to sell off screen, and then this happened.
I wouldn't make that deal with just anybody.
Damn it. Something happened. Hold on. Let's sell a bow. And an elven bow.
You got a great deal there.
There we go. Mercantile mastery. I leveled up Mercantile. Not only did I level it up, but it actually hit the new threshold as well. And I thought, I don't want to do that off screen. I want to show that on the Let's Play. So yeah, Mercantile just hit level 50 for us. Sorry, skill level 50. So Mercantile mastery increase, we get a new perk. And it's a big one. Check this out. Negotiation, bargaining, dickering, haggling. They're all a means to an end. Getting the best price for your goods. You're now a journeyman of Mercantile. We can now buy and sell any object to any vendor, even if they normally do not deal in that type of wares. And this last sentence is the big deal, really. Merchants may also offer you even better items. Now, I don't know exactly how this works. Maybe you guys can fill me in. But I'm pretty sure all the shops, at least here in the Imperial City, maybe across, and I think in the towns, all the shops have got, like, secret wares. They have extra stuff that they'll only sell with you if you're, like, a trusted trading partner or whatever, as long as you're high enough with Mercantile. A lot of the times, it's stuff that they have on display. Like, all of these items scattered about in the shops that you can just look and browse.
Farewell.
Like, there's often really good stuff sitting around. Like, that's a fine iron longsword. Man, the fine gear we've just missed out on in this. Well, not that hand build, but sometimes they got like enchanted stuff. And by the way, there's a lot of cool stuff in these shops. Like, it's very hard to sneak and steal things. Like, the shopkeepers will keep a very close eye on you. But like, there's a chest there. Sometimes, usually like in the jewelry shops and stuff, they have really nice things. So anyway, where is she?
I hope I can.
I don't know what she's unlocked.
Perhaps you need new armor, a weapon. I have a large selection of both.
I don't know. There's a helmet there now. It's an interesting mechanic. I don't know whether we've out-leveled some of it already, to be honest. I mean, if you start the game with Mercantile as one of your things, it basically means the shops will give you more stuff and different stuff quicker, which maybe is something that you can lean into and a cool part of your roleplay. But yeah, we can sell anything to anyone now. It's probably just going to pollute the trading menus. Now that I've leveled up, will you accept a higher price?
I can't do that.
Damn it. Come on. Come on. So yeah, mithril boots. We sell. The Cuirass.
An excellent bargain. A good price for...
Greaves. Well, that was all armor. Right, let's sell these arrows of Dispel. So I got these arrows this time. Arrows of Brilliance. Fire damage on strike and light on strike. Now that's really cool. I wouldn't have thought of that. But putting light on strike on arrows means that the enemy that you get hit has a light spell on them. So they're going to be glowing. They're going to be really easy to see. Whether that really matters that much for combat, I don't know. But that's a cool idea, isn't it? I feel like a magical archer archetype could be really cool in this game. But your ability to enchant arrows early is pretty limited. So, I don't know. It sort of gets hamstrung. But it's a really cool archetype and idea, isn't it?
Great deal.
A magical archer. So there's 2 war axes there, a war hammer too, which I'm not opposed to going to at some point, by the way.
Great deal there.
So there you go. So we can sell our stuff. We're no longer overweight.
Thank you.
We did have an amulet there,
Let's
but whatever.
get to training.
We still can't train anything really.
Take care.
Okay, so that's that. That's all I really wanted to do. And again, I would have sold off screen, but you know, leveling Mercantile up to that level is too juicy to just hide off. And yeah, it's the skin grad thing. I think I do want to go back up there. Basically, here's what happened. I noticed... So, remember, if you check the pins in the Discord channel, I've got the mods that I'm using. One of them is this engine tweaks thing that's supposed to remove stuttering and stuff.
Greetings to you.
And I've been very open. I've said I don't know whether it's just snake oil or placebo or whatever. Well, they had an update. And all the comments on the update were saying, oh my god, this is the best thing ever. The previous versions were alright, but this is mind-blowing. Everyone was wanking themselves silly over the update. Like, honestly. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll try it out. So I updated it, and one of the things that you're supposed to do if you update your engine is you've got to delete a couple of files so that the game rebuilds its shaders. Or like if you do an NVIDIA update, you really should rebuild the shaders. I noticed that with like Monster Hunter Wild.
Good afternoon.
For this remaster, that meant deleting a couple of files, and when I did it, I also lost some other settings. So I kind of had to reset all my settings last night and put Lumen Remastered back on, so we get these amazing shadows and this amazing, interplay of light and stuff. Basically, I set it up, and then I logged in, and the game didn't look very good again. And I thought, oh shit, I've got to fix that. So I came to Skingrad, because Skingrad blew my mind before, and it still is blowing my mind. Honestly, Skingrad is just... So I really like the lights and stuff here. So I came here to make sure that the shadows and stuff were working after I tweaked things. And then I ended up out in the West World, and then I was just exploring, and all of a sudden, like, 10 minutes had passed, and I was like, oh shit, I'm just playing the game here. I shouldn't really do this. Then I stopped. But yeah, I came out here and looked out across all those trees, and all their shadows were just missing.
How do you do?
This view right here looked really flat, and it worried me a bit, because I thought, oh shit, I've broken something. But whether I'm getting less starters or not, I can't really tell. I don't think I am getting less starters. I still don't know if that mod's really doing anything. Oh god, it just suddenly got misty. Why? Why would you do this to me? Oh god. Oh god, I certainly didn't do this yesterday. That's the castle, by the way. We were on the way up to the castle there. Jesus, yeah, I don't want it to be a horrible foggy day. Let's wait until tomorrow. Isn't one of the subclasses they added with the latest Baldur's Gate 3 update Arcane Archer? I think it is, yeah, actually. I don't know D&D that well. I've only played BG3 once. And like I said the other day, I sunk like a couple of 100 hours into it, but never actually finished it. And I kept respecking on my wizard, basically. I couldn't figure out how I wanted my wizard to play. I was a cleric, and then I was a necromancer, and then I went back to a cleric, and then I was something else. I can't remember really, but I kept basically just messing with it, so I know a little bit, but you know, I certainly haven't done lots of repeat playthroughs to the point where I can, you know, tell you what all the new subclasses and stuff are. It looks like a cool update. Do you know what I think is a real shame? That game is fucking perfect. Like the engine as like a sandbox for expansion, it is so good. That game with custom adventures, expansions from Larian would be just brilliant. They've done all the hard work now. It would be the best thing in the world. It will not clear up, will it? Oh my god. It'd be the best thing in the world. And yet, they're not doing it. They're just moving on from it really quickly because they don't want to work with, what are they called? Wizards of the Coast? Because they've been so horrible with their properties and whatever that drama is behind the scenes. It's such a shame. So we basically have to wait for Larian now to get their their next big property. I mean, it's a bit clearer today. The light is still a bit drab, isn't it? It looks cold out. It looks like it's winter or something. Oh no, there you go. It's warming up nicely. Yeah, it's warming up good and proper now. Oh, there you go. Oh, the color grading's so good. Yeah, I think so. I don't know whether my frames got better going back to that point. But what I will tell you guys is I've upped a couple of settings. I'm now on Ultra for lighting quality, and I'm on Ultra for post-processing quality. Because I feel like those are the things that are giving me the most impact and the most joy with this. It's pretty much all just the lighting. Like, I don't need really insane view distance. Like, because we're not even on max view distance here. And I don't necessarily need, you know, better textures and cloth physics and stuff like that. It's just the general lighting of the environment. By the way, you'll notice we went into Skingrad there and Earthel's still with us.
Hope we'll get to Skingrad soon.
It's funny, when you're actually in town with him, he just talks to you like a regular NPC.
I can't wait to be back in Skingrad, safe and sound.
I'm quite interested that Earthel made it down that huge cliff. Martin and Joffrey did not. They are nowhere to be seen. So here, by the way, these are goblins. We haven't seen many goblins for a while. I think as we level, we'll see less and less of them. So it's good to see a goblin. This is a white skin goblin. You'd think it would have a different texture on it, wouldn't you? So it's actually white skinned, but it's not. But I think they're like higher level ones maybe, or they're a certain tribe only in this area of Cyrodiil. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember. So back in the old days. Oh, there's an imp as well. When did we last see an imp? Nice. We can kind of wreck them now as well. It's been ages since we've seen an imp, and we can get imp gall off of them. Yeah, back in the old days, right, there were 3 massive mods for Oblivion that came out. One of them was Oscuro's Oblivion Overhaul. 000. And what that did was it made the whole game static. Just like Morrowind. So imps were always a certain level and a certain strength and found in a certain place. Quest items were always a certain level and a certain strength and found in a certain place. All the chests were exactly what they were. All the vendors, everything was static. This scaling thing, everyone hated. Man, that troll got dumpstered. So 000, that was a big update. And he changed, you know, level up mechanics and just kind of went crazy with it. It was an overhaul of the whole game. And there used to be loads of really cool guides and resources about it. And I was talking about it to Mike a couple of nights ago. And he said, oh, no, he didn't say anything. Basically, I was looking for documentation because I was talking to him about it. And I realized it's really hard to find a lot of it. It's disappearing off the internet, which is just so sad. Like, you have to use the, like, the Wayback Machine and, like, archiving websites to actually find people talking about it, which is mental to me. Truly mental, because that was the mod. Anyway, there was another one called Francesco's where she, like, lent into the... I say she, I don't actually know whether it was a woman. Look at the Great Forest here, guys. Oh, my lord. Look at it. kind of lent into the scaling idea, but just did it a bit smarter, which is effectively what Bethesda did years later with Skyrim, right? The scaling thing still happens in Skyrim. It's just a bit different, isn't it? It's like it will scale the first time you enter a dungeon, and then once you clear the dungeon, it's done for good. Unless a quest requires it to be reset. Like, they were just smarter in Skyrim, but they kept the idea. And Franz was a different overhaul. And because they had completely conflicting ideas about what they were doing, they were incompatible. And thirdly, there was MMM, Martigan's Monster Mod, which was also absolutely massive. Basically was a creature content pack, if you will. But also was kind of, just because the other overhauls were so big, was kind of incompatible. So anyway, eventually there was a big project to make Martigans and OOO work together. OOO, in my opinion, was the highest quality and had the most. The people were really excited about getting them to work together. But it's hard. So with a lot of... I don't know whether this is still true with Bethesda modding. Like, I don't know if anyone in the comments or in the chat modded Starfield. Look at the sun flittering through the trees. That vibration is probably just the engine being weird, but I like to think it's the leaves scattering the light. So I don't know whether this is still true with Bethesda modding, but you can't, like, only one mod can affect a thing. So here's the classic example, right? If you have an NPC and one mod gives him a sword and another mod gives him a shield, only one of those can actually operate. This is how it was for Oblivion anyway. So only the last loading mod would affect it. You'd get either the sword or the shield. This was kind of like a big compatibility issue. So you'd need a whole other patch to be made that would add both the sword and the shield, and it was just kind of a nightmare. So eventually, these guys, there's a mod manager for Oblivion called Rybash, and what the whole big amazing thing about Rybash was, it was a tool outside of the game. Holy shit, this is a Spriggan's bear and it's really kicking my ass. In fact, a Spriggan, we've never seen a Spriggan.
Long burn the dragonfires.
Oh dude, Joffrey's dialogue's awesome. A Spriggan's bear. That means that there's a Spriggan nearby. When a summoner dies, their thing instantly dies, so the Spriggan must still be alive, because the bear was still alive. So where is it then? Also, I'm completely lost. This is not where I was looking for. I was looking for a little village. I don't know where that log is. I just wanted to walk back to that log. We're like way out in the Great Forest now. Was I further north? It wasn't near Weatherly, was it? I'm going to go northeast, somewhere around here, and see what we find. Oh, there's another enemy. Oh, there's the Spriggan. Spriggans are amazing. I've never seen one in the remaster. Let's have a look. Oh, look. Oh my god. Well, she got destroyed. Taproots. Shock shield, resist poison, damage, endurance, restore luck. Okay. I don't know if we've had taproots before. Cool. You know what? We could take the crew to the Wisps and wreck them. I don't think I'm going to, though. I want the victory of handling that myself. Yeah, so anyway, so only one mod can work. Then Rybash came around, and it's a tool outside of the game. What it would do is it would read all your mods, unpack the contents of all of them, see what they all wanted to affect, and it would integrate all the changes into one mod all at once. It's called the bashed patch. It would bash all of the mods together, and you'd put the bashed pack, just the one mod at the very bottom, turn all the other ones off, and put the one mod at the bottom. And it's like a super mod based on your load order, and therefore then you could have the guy with the sword and the shield. And by the way, that happens in many layers, like cell edits, all kinds of things, right? So once this became a thing, people realized they could put all the overhauls together. And there was one ultimate overhaul called FCOM. Each letter standing for one of the overhauls. F for Franz, O for Oscuros, M for Martigans. I can't remember what the C was. There was another big, like, weapon mod as well, called Animamentarian or something. But yeah, FCOM was like the big deal. It was really unstable though when I used to do it. I don't know whether it's because I installed it badly, or it's just because it was such a crazy, heavy, dense thing. But anyway, FCOM or OOO plus MMM were such cool ways to play the game. And I think they did stuff like the white goblins you would actually see, because MMM added so much monster variety, you know. I don't think it was always lore friendly, but it was usually reasonably lore accurate. Right, guys, I don't know. I can't find it. There was some kind of little village, and there were a bunch of farmers that I found. There's more goblins here. We get a nice variety of mobs anyway. Also, it's sunset, and I want it to be out here in the sun. Nice. We found a cave, at least. The Redguard Valley Cave. But there you go. Alright, so that's a little bit about the Great Forest. I don't know. I played it last night. I thought it was fun. I wanted to put a little bit of that on screen. Let's head up to Bruma now, which is the main point of our adventuring today. And here, what I'll tell you guys actually I want to do is I'm going to drop Joffrey and Martin off. Let's do a bit of the main quest. I actually quite regret the end of last episode not handing these guys off to Wending Priory, because it's a cool part of the main story, you know, and we sort of missed it. By the way, are all the volumes good? Because this all got reset as well. I still don't know. I guess doing it on headphones is going to be better. I don't know what's best for you guys on the video, you know. Low frequency or night mode? What the hell is night mode audio? I think maybe I'll lower the sound effects again. These were a bit lower before, weren't they? It might be a little bit hard to hear me during combat, right? You don't think MMM was very lore-friendly? Well, my memory of it was that it was a mix. It was sometimes lore-friendly, and then it was sometimes, you know, just nuts. I don't remember. I mean, they had so many cool things. They used to have, like, different installer options where you could put the lore-unfriendly stuff in, or, you know, pick and choose, do your stuff. I feel like we've done such an epic amount of waiting today just to be out in the day. There you go. It's the 17th of Frostfall in my playthrough now, guys. So, getting pretty late in the year, which is quite appropriate for Bruma. Wow, the little gusts with the snow. I didn't mention it yesterday because I was rambling about something as it was going on. But when we were in Cheydinhall and it was raining, you know, the sleepy village of Cheydinhall. Well, is it sleepy? I don't know. With the river running through it and there was summer drizzle happening. There was a really cool moment. It'll be so hard to find it on the Let's Play, but it is there, where the rain was falling and I was walking on one of those bridges with the roofs, and it really looked like the rain was, you know, it looked like the rain had like piled up on the roof and congealed into like a large globule and dropped off the roof on the far side of the bridge quite far away from me. You know how in real life, you know, it wouldn't rain under the roof of the bridge. It would be a little bit denser on the edge as the roof itself is catching all of that water, so it's a bit of a heavier flow. It was like that. There was like a thick glob of rain, one raindrop, and as it dropped, I thought, oh my god, that looks amazing. It was too much to describe in the moment, though, and I was in the middle of talking about something else, so... Anyway, the snow just made me think of that a little bit. Oh, Bruma is cool, guys. This is, The Mages Guild chapter here has a lot of story. A lot of story. And not all of it's very happy story either. Not to spoil things. Zeppo says, wait, is OOO not available anymore? No, it is available. But, you know, the resources surrounding it are a bit harder to access now. Right, so out north of Bruma. Come on, everyone. See, they don't have their horses. See, I had them on horses yesterday as well. Oh, see? And there was a bit of stutter there. The game just stutters. I don't know. I don't know whether I believe that engine mod is doing a goddamn thing. There's Frostcrag. That is... We will go to Frostcrag today. I don't know what order I want to do anything in. I know I want to explore Bruma, speak to the people, learn what issues might be going on, see whether we can get any fame. Speaking of which, how is our fame doing? I'm an idiot. I clicked that and then clicked off of it. We have 18 fame! I think the reason that guy ran up to us and started that quest with the Countess wants to see us, right? I think it's because we have enough fame now. We probably have enough fame to actually buy some houses, too. Aside from the house buying mechanic, fame has a few interactions in the first expansion, Knights of the Nine. And the other thing is it just generally does, is it affects disposition. So what you don't see coming from Paradox games, I feel like Elder Scrolls should expose this stat. But what you don't see is every NPC, so Earthall here, and Brother Martin, and Joffrey, they all have a responsibility value. which is how responsible they feel within the world, and that changes the way that fame affects how much they like you. So if they're a really responsible character, if they have a high responsibility value, as you grow in fame, they automatically like you more. They like famous people, they like doers of good deeds. Meanwhile, if they have really low responsibility, it's infamy that makes them like you more, right? So if you're a scumbag that goes around killing a bunch of people, doing a bunch of terrible stuff, getting loads of infamy, other scumbags will look up to you and they'll enjoy your presence. You know, vampires, thieves, murderers. Not that we've seen much of their ilk in this series so far, but they are around. Yeah, so Joffrey doesn't have his horse anymore. We had at least one of them on horseback before. But no, we got to walk up all on our footses. Dude, the mountains look good, don't they? The detail on the rocks? They look brilliantly sharp. Which reminds me of in GW, where if you put, like, you just slap global sharpness on it, it looks really good in the Shiver Peaks. By the way, I don't have any sharpness on my upscaling, because I read that if you turn it up even slightly, it disables something else. I don't know. I can't remember anymore. But if you just globally throw sharpness up, it makes the mountains look really good and the rocks. But other areas just get overblown with shimmer and just end up looking terrible. But here, they seem to have just got it sorted. So here you go, looking out over Bruma below, the Imperial City below that. Frostcrag Spire, I would say, is probably still higher. Oh my god, they just walked in. Ah, hello. They opened the gates. Yeah.
Grandmaster, is this...
Ooh. Yes, Cyrus. This is the Emperor's son, Martin Septim.
My lord, welcome to Cloud Ruler Temple. We have not had the honor of an emperor's visit in many years.
Ooh.
Ah, well, thank you. The honor is mine. Come, your blades are waiting to greet you.
He must be feeling so weird about this, you know. Yeah, if you come here before this quest, you're not actually allowed in. You can murder the guards and, like, jump over the walls and do some general trickery, but you can, like, break the story if you're not careful. I'm going to close the gate. Thor, always close behind you. I love that he's here. You shouldn't be here. In fact, you know what?
Hope we'll get to Skingrad.
Yeah, if you just still want to go to Skingrad at this point with all this amazing stuff going on, you just wait.
Okay, if you say so.
Yeah, you sit there.
I can't wait to be back in Skingrad, safe and sound.
I will shoot you, so help me. Stop talking about Skingrad. Look at this place. Ancient Order of the Blades.
Dark times are upon us. The Emperor and his sons were slain on our watch. The Empire is in chaos. But there is yet hope. Here is Martin Septim, true son of Uriel Septim.
Hail, Sanctor! Hail, Hail!
Your Highness, the blades are at your command. You will be safe here until you can take up your throne.
Joffrey, all of you, I know you all expect me to be Emperor. I'll do my best. But this is all new to me. I'm not used to giving speeches, but I wanted you to know that I appreciate your welcome here. I hope I prove myself worthy of your loyalty in the coming days. That's it. Thank you.
Well then, thank you, Martin. We'd all best get back to our duties, eh, Captain?
Not much of a speech, was it? Didn't seem to bother them, though. The blades saluting me and hailing me as Martin Septim. I don't mean to sound ungrateful. I know I would be dead by now if it weren't for you. Thank you.
This is great.
Everyone expects me to suddenly know what to do, how to behave. They want an emperor to tell them what to do. And I haven't the faintest idea.
See, I think the script's a bit thin in this. Like that thing that he just said there. Yeah, that makes sense, but we haven't seen that. I mean, you've been here 2 seconds, man. I also think he's taken to the idea very quickly. He's just happy to believe it. I feel like we've missed a little bit in the story where he's really wrestling and coming to terms with the fact, oh my god, I really am a Septim. Like, possibly around Wayne and Priory, there should have been a real conversation there. First, where he really meets Joffrey in a more meaningful manner, because it was so quick, but also where Joffrey really sits him down and says, no, you are. Here's the evidence. Seriously, this isn't a joke. Like, his whole life has changed. And I feel like we just get a few token words. Like, the main story is really not weighty enough here. Anyway, we need to get the amulet back.
Of course. The Amulet of Kings. So I, can take it to the Temple of the One and light the dragon fires. And stop the Oblivion invasion.
And then you'll be Emperor.
The Emperor? That's an idea that will take some getting used to.
There you go, there's a little.
In any case, we need the amulet first. Maybe Joffrey will know where to start.
Maybe. Okay, so that's Wayne and Priory. Well, what do you know about the Amulet of Kings, exactly? Where do you think it might be?
All practitioners of Daedric magic are familiar with the almost impenetrable barrier between our world and Oblivion. What the Emperor told you implies that the amulet is the key to the preservation of that barrier. What I saw at Kavach. Everything I know about Daedric magic says that such stable portals are impossible. Yet those gates to Oblivion existed. The old rules no longer apply. Kavach is only the beginning of what Mehrunes Dagon will do. If the amulet is truly the key to restoring the barriers between our world and Oblivion, you must waste no time in recovering it.
There's a lot of cool things in the story. One place where it's not that thin, and I do actually quite like... Oh, we can ask him. Daedric magic? What do you mean, all practitioners? So he implied there that he knows about Daedric magic. Sorry, not Daedric. Daedric. He implied, right? So what can we ask him about that?
I haven't always been a priest. In my youth, I followed a different path. I know more than I want to about the seductive power of Daedric magic. Let's just leave it at that.
So they're very hands-off about this, what he did in his past. But there's a minor spoiler for you guys. In a minute, there'll be... Well, not in a minute. Later, we're gonna... So there's these Daedric shrines around. We're trying to get Azura's Star at the moment. Later in the story, there'll be a moment where we have to gather one of those, any of them, for him. And depending on the one you pick, you get different dialogue. There is one artifact out there in the world that if you give it to him, he says, oh my god, I've seen this before. Like, you do get a bit more detail about what maybe he was messing around with. And I'll try to show you that. If you don't know which artifact it is, you can look it up or just wait. I will get there on the LP. And I'll give you a hint. We've already talked about it in a roundabout way in the series. Anyway, yeah, this thing about the Amulet of Kings. Let's listen to him again here.
All practitioners of Daedric magic are familiar with the almost...
So basically, he talked about how... you know, the Emperor and the Amulet and the Dragon Fires, they are doing a real thing. They are keeping Oblivion out. These portals cannot be up for a long time. And so what that means is the Empire, as we know it, this Third Era Empire, like, they have actual mandate. You know, there's all this bullshit about, like, the UK monarchy that, oh, God actually ordained that they do it. It's actually, there's a divine mandate, but it's all bullshit. Here in this, it's real. It actually exists. And there is a real reason for the Empire. So you can look at, like, Tiber Septim conquering all the land with the Numidium, and you can look at... You know, one of the things that's really fun about Elder Scrolls is it makes you... It goes into this really fun conversation, I think a fun conversation, about the merits, the politics, the controversy, the merits of colonialism, right? You know, for all these terrible things you can say about... You can look at real-world history. Look at the British Empire, if you like. You can look at the Roman Empire. You know, there's this thing, well, Rome did build the roads, right? There's a lot of back and forth with these things. There's a really cool conversation there. And a lot of this stuff around the Third Era kind of dives into that, you know? Are these guys just warmongers, or is there something more going on? And, you know, at least when you look at this, you look at the dragon god of time, Akatosh, is actually collaborating with these emperors to keep the dragon fires lit, to actually do something, to protect Nirn, I think it is. I don't know what the difference between Nirn and Mundus is, by the way. I think it's really cool. And so I think you can be a big advocate of the Empire in the Third Era. Now, again, not to get too spoilery or anything, but things... The Empire takes many shapes, and, you know, there's a big time jump when we get to Skyrim. We're in the Fourth Era at that point, and the conversation can shift a little bit, and that's where it's fun. But, yeah, it's cool. It's cool that he knows about some of this stuff, too. So, what do you think of the gates?
Something has changed to make these stable portals to Oblivion possible. Joffrey believes that the death of the Emperor and the darkening of the Dragonfires is the key.
WP falling for the Emperor's propaganda. You know what? Another great conversation that I guess I have a controversial take, according to the internet, is the British Museum, right? So, like, the bog standard sentiment you'll find online about the British Museum among, you know, the kids or whatever, is that it's this terrible thing. The British were thieves. They stole all this stuff. They should give it all back. But the more you read about it, it's like a lot of the things that were acquired from these remote places were in disrepair. The people didn't know their value. They weren't being protected. Like the Rosetta Stone, right? The Rosetta Stone gives us this incredible insight into early language, this amazing translation device, right? When it was found by the British, it was being used as a part of a wall. Like, it had been built. There was some people had found some old rubble, and they built a wall out of it. You know, the amount of things that were damaged or destroyed in politically unstable nations. You know, there is something protectionist about it. You know, and also, it's all ancient history at this point. You could say, well, this originally came from my country, but you know, how much that means you have an actual stake to a thing. When you weren't really there, neither were your parents there, neither were your grandparents there, neither were your great-grandparents there. Your state doesn't resemble anything that the ancient state once upon a time resembled. You know, like there are values, there are merits to certain things. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm not giving you a black and white answer. I'm just saying there's a conversation to be had with these topics. And Elder Scrolls kind of makes you think about that stuff sometimes, which I like, you know. It's very difficult to have conversations like this, especially on the internet, because everyone's so hysterical, and everyone's so knee-jerk, and so whiplash, and so prone to offense about everything. But, you know.
Don't worry about me, my friend.
And I think that...
I think I'm in good hands.
Just a weird observation as well. I think the more we've lived with the internet as games have been developed... You know, there's this big argument that there's too much money in AAA games, so they can't take any risks, so they end up really bland and boring. I think that's a part of it. I think it's too much focus group testing. I think it's a lot of fear of losing the money. I think the economy drives that, right? But there's another thing that's going on. I think it's just the internet. The internet gives so much feedback all the time, so much anger and hysteria. Like, the need to conform and be careful about shit is so massive now. Compared to, say, like, so you look at, like, the original Tomb Raiders coming out in the 90s. They didn't think that hard about things. They didn't think about stuff that was, so to speak, problematic. Because they were more closed off, you know? There was less constant feedback and screaming in your face all the time. So I think the artists were able to just feel a little bit more bold. And they were a little bit less careful. And that led to better art, I think, a lot of the time. I'm not saying all old games were amazing. Far, far, far from it. And certainly Tomb Raider is a terrible example. It's not high art at all. But I do think that... I'm just trying to say that I think that the internet has made people fearful in all aspects. The economy encourages people to be very careful with the things that they make. And you know, just the constant feedback does it as well. And, I don't know. I hope the new game is good. I think they still wrote a lot of good stuff when it came to Skyrim. We were just talking in the Discord about, you know, making the playable races bland and boring across, like, GW2. I much prefer it where people are at each other's throats, where there's a bit of interest and a bit of difference. You know, talking about how the Wood Elves are cannibals. They actively encourage cannibalism. Or in Morrowind, they're still participating in the slave trade. These are terrible things. But they're interesting subjects because they're terrible things. And, you know, that impulse to just say, oh, we can't be seen to be approving of this in any way just means that you end up with this really bland story at the end of the day, you know? And the more voices are in the room, the higher chance there's going to be some prudish, careful, fearful person that just kills the art and says, no, that's too controversial, you can't do that. I think that's sad. I don't know. I'm ranting. Oh, it's too ranty. Too ranty. All right, go on. Get up there. Piss off. Get in there. Get in there. Let's talk about something else. Hey, Joffrey.
You have proven yourself a loyal servant of the Empire, as worthy as any of the Blades to stand by Martin's side during this crisis. As the Grand Master of the Blades, I would be honored to accept you into our order. Will you join us?
Okay, so here we go. We get to join the Blades. You can say, not right now. Yes, I will join. Or what are my duties?
The Blades are sworn to the service of the Emperor as the mortal representative of the dragon blood of the divine Talos.
In Daggerfall, you're in the Blades. You start the game in the Blades. You're an agent of the Blades. In Morrowind, you join the Blades really quickly. In Arena, you're not technically in the Blades, I don't think. I can't remember being in the Blades in Arena. But so when this came along on Oblivion, I think a lot of people basically accepted it. that it probably would happen. Don't you join the Blades in the next game as well? It's funny, in 4 out of the 5 games you're a prisoner, and in 4 out of 5 games you're in the Blades, but it's not the same 4 out of 5 each time. So yeah, but here's the thing, you don't have to. You can say no, not right now, and you can go through the game not in the Blades, and it will be fine. You can actually proceed. You can actually lock yourself. I'll tell you what some very rare dialogue is. Who's going to click no? Only role players, right? And they're going to be a smaller subset. But if you say no, he'll continue to offer you place in the Blades until, like, I think if his disposition is really low. So if you deliberately piss him off, or you've somehow managed to never up your personality or any fame or anything, because I think he's a responsible character. So you do any level of questing, he's going to start liking you. But there's some dialogue where he won't let you in, which is quite interesting. And this isn't a spoiler. Later, depending on how you play and what you do, he can die. And if that happens, you're locked out of the Blades forever. But there's no downside to joining it, so I'm going to join it.
It is my honor to welcome you into our ranks as a Knight Brother of the Blades.
There you go. Easy. I mean, there's not much ceremony there, is there? Can you tell me more about this group I just joined?
This fortress is well supplied with arms and armor. Use what you need from the armory in the East Wing.
That's a problem with the Airbender live-action remake. They removed Sokka's sexism, but that was such an important part of his character because he learns through experience and plot that it's not okay. And the original didn't shy away from showing that he was sexist because it was an intentional point of character development for him. Pissed me off that they stripped that away. Yeah, I mean, I think you've given a really good example. I hate it when stuff like that happens. Like, but in a way, I can't blame them. Like, you look at the way that people talk about media. Like, when I'm sorry to go on about this again, but when we were doing FFX over Christmas, the amount of people that just hate Waka forever. That's it. Waka sucks. He's a dickhead. Loathe him. That, like, people form opinions really quickly. They'll never change their opinions. There's very... I hate to be so hyperbolic about this because it kind of runs contrary to what I'm saying immediately. But I really feel like there's not much... Actually, it kind of proves my point, really. There's not much space for nuance, I feel like. People won't accept that Waka starts closed-minded, bigoted, raised in a certain environment, and it takes a lot to bring someone out of that. And they're not a worse person for having been raised in that environment. If you take a kid and you tell them for years that there's this evil other, right? There's this other group, this other religion, this other whatever, and over and over and over again you talk about how terrible to that kid that other group is, they're going to grow up bigoted against that community. That's just what's going to happen. They're not evil. They're not bad. That's what's going to happen. And so, like, when you take a character like Waka that lived in a life like that, and then throughout the story you see his eyes open, that's a great story. And we should embrace Waka and say, this is a great character. I really like this. I want more of it. And I want more arcs like that in games. But I feel like a lot of people will just say, well, not just games, all media. A lot of people will just say, no, I don't like him. He's gross. Don't put him in. He's ugly. I'm supposed to root for that guy? And it's like, you just... Like, this is basic shit, man. I think you could teach this... You could talk about this issue to like a 10 or 11-year-old and they would understand that. But somewhere along the way, the average person... I don't know, maybe I'm just being hysterical myself. It feels like somewhere along the way, a lot of people can't handle that. And they just sort of... They just hate stories where there's any kind of wrinkle. I don't know. Alright, so... I asked him about the blades and he told me about the temple. So if I ask him about the temple, will he tell me about the blades?
This place was built by Raymond Cyrodiil Zakaviri Dragon Guard at the founding of the Second Empire. Since then, it has served the Blades as headquarters, fortress, and sanctuary. We can protect Martin here until you recover the Amulet of Kings. Okay, so there's a thing. I would like to hear something from the lore geeks in chat. They called Martin Dragonborn here. Now, I guess that's because he's a Septim. That's the Akatosh influence, all of that stuff, right? It's so interesting to me that these aren't even descendants of Tiber. It's crazy. Anyway, they call him Dragonborn. In Skyrim, you are a Dragonborn. But it's kind of a different thing, right? It means you can speak the dragon tongue. You're the last Dragonborn, aren't you? I don't know what is all that? Could Martin learn the Thum? Could he Fusrodar and stuff like that? Dragonblood are literally Dragonborn or Dovahkiin. So he could learn Fusrodar.
Dragon Spaceborn is not Dragonborn. The first is a title for the bloodline. Oh, I don't know who to believe. Getting two responses in chat there. Right, the Amulet of Kings.
You're right. We must try to recover the amulet before the enemy takes it out of our reach. You should go back to the Imperial City. Boris may have learned something about the assassins. You'll find Boris at Luther Broad's boarding house in the Elven Gardens district of the Imperial City.
Okay, right. So I just got a quest called the Path of the Dawn. For the tryhards out there, you don't want to do what I just did. Don't click that button that I just clicked. Don't start Path of the Dawn until
you're level 22. If you're not level 22 when you do this, you are playing the game wrong.
And the reason why is because there's a really crazy good ring in the quest that we'll see later, and it is an epic ring. And the easiest, earliest way to get the epic ring is by being level 22 when you collect Path of the Dawn. I'm pretty sure it's when you collect the quest. I'm not doing all of that stuff, so hopefully it's a shame, because the ring I'm talking about would be stunningly good for taking out wisps. It would be so good. It is an incredible piece of gear. It's unbelievable. But yeah, you'll have to be level 22. Now, I give you this advice, though, because the remaster, we're all leveling up so fast. The only reason I'm still level 14 is because I've held off from beds. But if I had been doing it, I reckon I probably am level 22 already, maybe more. And I'm just casually bumming around. I'm not really doing much, am I? So, you know, for those of you guys playing along with me, feel free. Hold off for one level or two. If you're that close anyway, you may as well. And you'll get a really good ring from it. And I'll talk more about it as we go through the quest. This next quest is my favourite quest in the main story, by the way. It's really good. So yeah, Boris.
One of the youngest blades ever to serve in the Emperor's personal guard. I am glad to hear that he survived, but I fear he will take the Emperor's death particularly hard.
Yeah, we get another arc with Boris. He comes back into the story. I know that we're like 40 hours since we last saw him or talked about him, but he is there.
The Amulet of Kings is the key to everything now.
Okay.
Once we have it back, Martin can use it to light the dragonfires in the Temple of the One and reseal the barriers between Oblivion and our world.
So we all hopefully...
Give my warm regards to Boris. Tell him he should not blame himself for the Emperor's death. He did well to send you to me.
Okay, yeah, so hopefully we all understand the situation. Path of the Dawn. Joffrey wants me to contact Boris at Luther Broad's boarding house in the Imperial City. The enemy has the Amulet of Kings. Boris may have the leads we need to get it back. So yeah, that's going to be another Imperial City arc, and it's so good. It is a really, really, really great quest. Love it. But we're not going to worry about that just for now. I want to explore Cloud Ruler Temple. In fact, it's funny. Usually I remember getting that quest off of Joffrey when he's in the place. I guess we were so quick getting dialogue from everyone. Look at this. I love it. Immediately it feels a lot more Nordic, doesn't it? Oh, that's Earthor over there. Yeah, that's right, Earthor. You wait there. You wait at that door until I return. You're not allowed to see anything interesting, just a staircase. I've afforded you the privilege of being on this side of the gate.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Arcturus.
I haven't time to talk right now, I'm afraid. But I'm sure one of the other blades can help. Try speaking with Belisarius or Caroline.
Okay. Belisarius or Caroline. Look at that. He's basically looking out over the city. Now, in the original, if you were on like medium graphics or low graphics, would this just be mist out in front of you? It'd be like the Morrowind effect of making the game feel massive because you can't see anywhere. You know, a lot of people are doing comparisons of Oblivion Remaster versus original Oblivion, like visual comparisons. But none of them are doing what I think they should do, which is this game on medium settings, the remaster on medium versus the original on medium, or even better, this on low versus the original on low. I think that would be a really striking difference. Because you got to remember,
An honor to serve with you.
I was really into this game. I was really into the E3 videos at the start. I was there at release. Really, really excited about this. The thing is, the PC I had was not very good. And so I couldn't really run it that well, and the game didn't look that good. So my memory of this, I sort of assume that's what that was like for a lot of people, you know. A lot of us didn't have great PCs. And so the true comparison of Oblivion is not cranking it up to the max. but given it like that middle ground where the view distance especially was really terrible.
This has been a concern of
This is
mine
where
as
Christian
well.
Bale trained in Batman Begins.
And I take it the others. They're of the same mind.
The bond we share is unbreakable, is it not? The blades are as one on this and every other matter.
Okay, hold on. I've hit escape. Sorry that it's paused. For some reason, every time I hit escape, it's going to the graphics options, which stall massively. What I wanted to do was put subtitles on, which I assume might be in the sword and... because I think they got turned off. Did they get turned off? Have we ever had subtitles? Text language. Those are just controls. Sound settings doesn't have it. Oh, maybe there never were. I don't know.
Right. Well, we'll all have to remain extra vigilant. But enough chatter. Back to our duties, eh?
Farewell.
Hail!
Hail, Fortis.
Please forgive me, but I'm afraid I have...
So another thing that's going on here that I don't really know much about, right? We got all this... Oh, by the way, we can watch these guys train for a skill up. This might give us blunt as well. Or it's either blade and block or blunt and blade. I think it might be blade and block, since that's what they're obviously using. But you see their swords. In fact, when we joined the blades, I think we got given one. Yeah, we got an Akaviri katana, right? So, Akaviri, I remember when I first played this game. Obviously, at the very beginning, we collect one. Captain Renault's one. She dies right at the start. And you can use this the whole way through the tutorial. And I remember these being so badass. They take them off of you. I wanted to get one back for so long. I never really knew what it meant, though. Akaviri. They're in Morrowind as well, aren't they? So basically, I think they are. So I don't really know the lore here very well. Maybe people want to fill me in more. But Akavir is another continent. So remember how we talked about... well, God, what's it called? Yokai? Yondu? Something like that? Way off in this direction, there's another continent. But up here, in this direction, northeast, there's another continent as well. And there's really not much information about it. There's never been a game there. We've never actually seen it. The only time you hear it talked about is through reference here in Tamriel. And it's all biased and it's, you know, in all the fun ways Elder Scrolls is. So, it tends to be painted as a scary place. There's been a few invasions. So, I think it's called the Continent of Akavir. And it's invaded a couple of times. And it's notable because there are like dragon people that live there. It might even be at one of the places that dragons still live or something. And apparently some men live there too. Maybe. There's either men that live there or men got eaten there because they're too small and there's dragons everywhere. Something like that. And the only other thing is there's no evidence elves have ever lived there. There's never been any elves up there at all. That's about it, I think. I don't really know anything else about Akavir. Maybe there has been a game, a mobile game, or a bit of ESOs talked about or something. I don't know. By and large, the Elder Scrolls is about Tamriel, of which this game's the heartland. Some subtitles being inconsistent looks like a known issue. It's a presumed bug. Looks like people have found INI edits that fix or work around it. Oh, really? Yeah, I swear we were having subtitles. Johan says, anyone can use the Thum, but it takes like half a lifetime to learn it for mortal men. The Dragonborn can master it pretty much immediately. Right, yeah, because in Skyrim you meet the Greybeards, right? And they can all use the Thum. But they're not Dragonborn themselves, are they? I see, okay, yeah. And Dean says the same thing. The Dragonborn can eat a dragon's soul to learn shouts faster. There's a book in the very beginning of Skyrim that speculates it's not inherited and that it's bestowed. So it could be anyone. So why do we have it in Skyrim? We're getting kind of off topic, I guess, for this game. But why are you a Dragonborn in Skyrim? Anyway, by observing these blades at practice, you've picked up a couple of new moves. Your blade and block skills have both been raised by 2 points. I thought it was 5. But 2 points for block, I'm really happy with. Because, you know, we're a long way from Shield Bash. We're a long way. In fact, by the way, we're level 50 now. When did that happen? Your shield no longer loses durability when you block an attack. That's weird. Did that pop up yesterday? I really don't remember that. Anyway, yeah, so another 23 levels to go. Oh, wait, no. Yeah. 23 levels. It's an expert. They really should have moved this down. Personally, I think dodge should be 25. Shield bash should be 25. Sprint should be 25. Or maybe 50 for all of them. It would have been much more interesting to me if they unlocked at those levels. I wonder if that's moddable. Like skill trees that as they unlock actually give you new movements, I think is cool.
Good afternoon, sir.
Maybe when blunt gets to 50, it allows you to lock bash, where you don't pick locks anymore, you just smash them open.
What can I do for you, sir?
Hello, Jenna. What do you think about the temple?
Sometimes when it's quiet, I walk the battlements and breathe in the cold mountain air. It's the only peace I allow myself. The Emperor's death was a harsh lesson for all of us. We failed in our duty to the Dragonborn. It must not happen again.
Oh, I agree.
If you need armor, weapons, or just a place to sleep, the barracks in the West Wing is available to any of us.
Okay.
May Uriel's spirit guide us in these troubled times.
Wherever his spirit may be. So yeah, we got the West Wing, the East Wing. I remember loving this place. So yeah, if you don't have a house yet, you can get here fairly early in the story. And if you do so, you're allowed to sleep here. They'll give you chests. Again, I don't know if they're respawning. Hey, oh, here we go. This is it. We're waking someone up. There you go, Caroline.
What can I do for you, sir?
Hello. Sorry to wake you. I just wanted to get a bit of a tour of the temple.
There's no place more secure in all of Cyrodiil. I wish we could have gotten our Lord Uriel here.
Oh, maybe she wasn't asleep at all. Maybe she was sitting there traumatized, going over in her mind, unable to rest, because she sounds really sad.
The Emperor's death was a harsh lesson for all of us. We failed in our duty to the Dragonborn. It must not happen again.
Okay.
Farewell.
You got all these chests, more calipers. Get a gold. We should have a caliper count whenever we see calipers in a chest. There's a torch in there. So yeah, look at all this blade stuff. There's a blade's shield. It gives us 10 armor. What's my current shield give us? 12. Holy fuck. Our current one's so good. Oh yeah, and it has all of these fortifiers as well. Damn. But the blade stuff looks cool. There's Blade's boots, Blade's helmet. There's a bunch of katanas we can take. Each is worth 120 septims. We could steal them and sell them. Well, not steal them. We could just take them. We'd have some greaves. I like the look of the greaves when you're not wearing them. Should we gear ourselves out in blade stuff? There's a rack here. Now, I do have some really cool trivia for you in this one. Hello.
What can I do for you, sir?
Well, I don't know. What's up here?
Don't worry. We'll keep the Emperor Martin safe here. No enemy has ever taken Cloud Ruler from the Blades.
The Emperor Martin. That sounds weird. Shouldn't it just be Emperor?
The Emperor's death was a harsh lesson for all of us. We failed in our duty to the Dragonborn. It must not happen again.
Look at that. He had a lot more energy with that line, didn't he?
May Talos guide you.
A lot more energy. Dude, these doors are awesome. Look at that. I think this is the only place in the game you see these. Illusion increased to 26. There's a jewelry box. The base necklace of the sea. More water breathing. Look at this. Is that theft? Why do I feel like it's theft and it's just not marked it? It's just not showing me. Strong potion of might. Detect life. Is that theft? Are you alright with me doing that? I mean, you can't see me. You can keep your hat on. Just saw the blue suede shoes again. Gods and worship. Cupboard here. This is a nice little room, actually. Here, I'll tell you what.
What can I do for you?
Oh, sorry. No. You just guard my...
Stay safe.
You just guard me. I'm going to sit in this chair here in third person, and I'm going to read, because I'm interested, The Brief History of the Empire V2. Written by the same guy, the Imperial Historian. Volume 1 of the series described in brief the lives of the first 8 emperors of the Septim dynasty, beginning with the glorious Tiber Septim and ending with his great-great-great-great-great-grandniece, Kintyra II. Kintyra's murder in Glen Point, while in captivity, is considered by some to be the end of the pure strain of Septim blood in the imperial family. Wait, what? So hold on, it's separated again. Certainly, it marks the end of something significant. Uriel III not only proclaimed himself Emperor of Tamriel, but also Uriel Septim III, taking the eminent surname as a title. In truth, his surname was Mantiarco, from his father's line. In time, Uriel III was deposed and his crimes reviled, but the tradition of taking the name Septim as a title for the Emperor of Tamriel did not die with him. Hold the phone, man. This is what's really good about Elder Scrolls. Okay, that whole thing about the Skyrim Civil War and how the Empire is different. I'm just going to throw a word out there. Mead. Okay. Well, that doesn't hold much water anyway, does it? Honestly, there were so many people yesterday saying, oh, you know, the 4th era one is different because they're not really Septims, blah, 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 blah. But hello? None of them are! For 6 years, the War of the Red Diamond, which takes its name from the Septim family's famous badge, tore the Empire apart. This is like the War of the Roses, Elder Scrolls edition. The combatants were the 3 surviving children of Pelagius II, Potimer, Sepphoris, and Magnus, and their various offspring. Potimer, of course, supported her son, Uriel III, and had the combined support of all of Skyrim and northern Morrowind. With the efforts of Sepphoris and Magnus, however, the province of High Rock turned coat. The provinces of Hammerfell, Somerset Isle, Valenwood, Elsewhere, and the Black Marsh were divided in their loyalty, but most kings supported Sepphoris and Magnus. In the year 127, Uriel III was captured at the Battle of Ikdag in Hammerfell. En route to his trial in the Imperial City, a mob overtook his prisoner's carriage and burned him alive within it. His captor and uncle continued on to the Imperial City and, by common acclaim, was proclaimed Sepphoris I, Emperor of Tamriel. Sepphoris' reign was marked by nothing but war. By all accounts, he was kind and intelligent man, but what Tamriel needed was a great warrior, and he, fortunately, was that. It took an additional 10 years of constant warfare for him to defeat his sister, Potimer, the so-called Wolf Queen of Solitude, who died in the siege of her city-state in the year 137. So this is cool. There's so much war in fucking... I'll tell you what's really good about Elder Scrolls, right, is it's so big feeling, you know? There's a lot of history here, clearly defined. Sepphoris survived. Guild Wars, by comparison, they'll litter ruins and stuff around the map and say, oh, this was ancient history, but they don't really put a point on it a lot of the time, you know? This game puts a lot of points on it. Again, it's very Game of Thrones to me. Sepphoris survived his sister by only 3 years. He never had time during the war years to marry, so it was his brother, the 4th child of Pelagius II, who assumed the throne. This honestly reminds me of watching, like, there's a YouTube video out there of, like, a history of the British, you know, monarchy from, like, 1066 to today. And it's exactly like this. It's a nerd sitting down, providing commentary, just going, and then there was this guy, but survived by this guy, and this guy's uncle, and then there was it just on and on and on and on and on, like way too long. Like, you start watching that video thinking, yeah, this will be cool. I'll be able to track the whole thing. I'll know it. It'll be really cool. A little bit of extra information. But no. It's too long and windy and convoluted. There's so many people over 1,000 years. Don't forget, in the year 2066, this country will be 1,000 years. The big 1K. And I would like to think most of us will live to see it. Which would be quite cool. He never had time during the war years to marry, so it was his brother, the 4th child, who assumed the throne. The Emperor Magnus was already elderly when he took up the imperial diadem. and the business of punishing the traitorous kings of the War of the Red Diamond drained much of his remaining strength. Legend accuses Magnus's son and heir, Pelagius III, of patricide. But that seems highly unlikely, for no other reason than Pelagius was king of solitude following the death of Potama, and seldom visited the Imperial City. Is that it? That's the only reason it's... Alright. Pelagius III, sometimes called Pelagius the Mad, was proclaimed emperor in the 145th year. Almost from the start, his eccentricities of behaviour were noted at court. He embarrassed dignitaries, offended his vassal kings, and on one occasion marked the end of an imperial grand ball by attempting to hang himself. Wow. His long-suffering wife was finally awarded the regency of Tamriel, and Pelagius III was sent to a series of healing institutions and asylums until his death in 153 at the age of 34. The Empress Regent of Tamriel was proclaimed Empress Kataraya I upon the death of her husband. Some who do not mark the end of the Septim bloodline with the death of Kanacha II consider the ascendancy of this dark elf woman the true mark of its decline. Her defenders, on the other hand, assert that though Katara was not descended from Tiber, the son she had with Pelagius was... But no, it wasn't! So the imperial chain did continue? That's not true, that they're descended from Tiber. Tiber's heirs got wiped out, and it went to his brother. Immediately, nobody's coming from Tiber. Immediately. Am I misreading a brief history of the Empire here? Is this a mistake? Or is this guy's, like... I mean, that's too blatant to be, like, a sneaky bias. That's just wrong. I mean, the blood of their Tiber's family, I guess. Anyway, despite racist assertions to the contrary, Kataraya's 46-year reign was one of the most celebrated... This is a Queen Elizabeth type character, right? Queen Victoria. Was one of the most celebrated in Tamriel's history. Uncomfortable in the imperial city, Kataraya travelled extensively throughout the empire, such as no empire had ever had since Tiber's day. But this is like the royal parade. She repaired much of the damage that the previous emperor's broken alliances and bungled diplomacy created. The people of Tamriel came to love their empress far more than the nobility did. Kataraya's death in a minor skirmish in Black Marsh is a favourite subject of conspiracy-minded historians. Oh, it's Princess Diana, actually, isn't it? Do you know what, guys? I'm not a very conspiratorial person, but I will tell you this. I do wonder, with that event, I don't think that the driver was deliberately drugged or anything like that, but I do wonder... I think there's a weird thing with that, where the crash happened really close to a hospital. But it took like hours and hours and hours to get her there and receive any kind of aid. And I do sort of wonder if there was a bit of a tip-off or a bit of an incentive, a bit of a push to keep the ambulance, to have the ambulance slow or not really get there. You can say traffic or whatever, but I mean, come on, emergency vehicles part traffic and get through it. You know, we have systems for this. It's very weird. I think that's the most suspect thing about it. Coming from a completely ignorant fool that doesn't really know very much. But I'm a little bit conspiratorial about that in particular, because that seems like a very easy thing to do. Anyway, the sage Montalius' discovery, for instance, of a disenfranchised branch of the Septim family and their involvement with the skirmish was a revelation indeed. Wow. When Cassander assumed the throne upon the death of his mother, he was already middle-aged. Only half-elven, he aged like a Breton. In fact, he had left the rule of Wayrest to his half-brother Uriel due to poor health. Wayrest features in Daggerfall. Nevertheless, as the only true-blood relation of Pelagius and thus Tiber, he was pressed into accepting the throne. To no one's surprise, the Emperor Cassander's reign did not last long. In 2 years, he joined his predecessors in eternal slumber. Uriel Lariat, Cassander's half-brother, and the child of Kataraya I and her imperial consort, Galivir Lariat, after the death of Pelagius III, left the kingdom of Wayrest to reign as Uriel IV. Legally, Uriel IV was a Septim. Cassander had adopted him into the royal family when he had become king of Wayrest. See, he's only adopted! Nevertheless, the council and the people of Tamriel, he was a bastard child of Kataraya. Uriel did not possess the dynamism of his mother, and his long, 43-year reign was a hotbed of sedition. Your fourth story is told in the 4th volume of the series. Holy shit, man. You know, I see, reading all this in context, I see no problem with Mead at all. In terms of right to the throne. Anyway. Well, there you go. That's a brief history of the Empire. Oh, the Amulet of Kings. This one's short. It's just these pages. This is it. I know we just did one book already. The Amulet of Kings. In the first years of the First Era. So, hold on. This is all Third Era stuff we've been reading. The Second Era was the Meridian or something, right? No? What the hell happened back in the first? In the first years of the First Era, a powerful race of elves called the Ayleids, or the Heartland High Elves, ruled central Tamriel with an iron hand. The high and haughty Ayleids relied on their patrons, the treacherous Daedra lords, to provide armies of Daedra and dead spirits. With these fearless magical armies, the Ayleids preyed without mercy upon the young races of men, slaughtering or enslaving them at their whim. Wow. Okay. On behalf of the suffering human races, St. Alessia, first in the line of the Cyrodiils, sought the aid of Akatosh, the dragon god of time, and the ruler of the noble Aedra. Oh, sorry, the ruler of the noble Aedra. So you've got the Daedra and the Aedra. Akatosh, looking with pity upon the plight of men, drew precious blood from his own heart and blessed St. Alessia with this blood of dragons, and made a covenant that so long as Alessia's generations were true to the dragon blood, Akatosh would endeavour to seal tight the gates of Oblivion and to deny the armies of Daedra and undead to their enemies, the Daedra-loving Ayleids. Interesting, so the Ayleids were summoning Oblivion gates constantly back then, were they? In token of this covenant, Akatosh gave to Alessia and her descendants the Amulet of Kings and the eternal dragonfires of the Imperial City. Thus does Alessia become the first gem in the Cyrodiilic Amulet of Kings. The gem is the red diamond in the middle of the amulet. This is the symbol of the Empire, and later taken as the symbol of the Septim line. It's surrounded by 8 other gems, one for each of the divines. So long as the Empire shall maintain its worship of Akatosh and his kin, and so long as Alessia's heirs shall bear the Amulet of Kings, Akatosh and his divine kin maintain a strong barrier between Tamriel and Oblivion, so that mortal men may never need again fear the devastating summoned hosts of the Daedra Lords. But if the Empire should slacken... So by the way, this isn't just about the Deadlands, this is all Daedric realms, right? But if the Empire should slacken in its dedication to the 9 divines, or if the blood of Alessia's heirs should fail, then shall the barriers between Tamriel and Daedric realms fall, and Daedra worshippers might summon lesser Daedra and undead spirits to trouble the races of men. So she gave this amulet to Tiber eventually, right? The book doesn't say that, but we heard that somewhere else, right? Well, there you go. There's a Blades Cuirass there. Should we change our armor? Let's do it. Blades helmet, Blades Cuirass. Downstairs there were the Greaves. Unfortunately, there's not like a blunt version of their katanas or anything.
Good afternoon, sir.
Merithic, that's it. Yeah, Banjo, you got it. Or was Merithic before the First Empire? I don't know. I don't know what the Reman Empire was as well. Isn't there a thing? The Remans? Or something? The Mede dynasty is completely unrelated to the Septim dynasty. Yeah, but Tiber's line was dead long ago. That's the whole point. The brief history of the Empire says that happened ages ago anyway. Mede is no different than 90% of that royal line. I mean, listen to the books we just read. So we got the Blades Cuirass, the Blades Greaves, the Blades Gauntlet, the Blades Helmet. I think that's the whole set, isn't it? There you go. Studies under stars. Blade. In fact, if we go to our character sheet and we go to factions, See, we're a Knight Brother of the Blades. I don't know when or how you rank up on this, by the way. Also, you'll notice here, we're an Associate of the Fighters Guild. We're an Associate of the Mages Guild. We're a Brawler in the Arena. We ranked up. But also, you see here, this is a minor thing. The Order of the Virtuous Blood. I'm a Brother of the Order of the Virtuous Blood. Those are the Vampire Hunters in the Imperial City. They're not a full-fledged guild, but they do appear as a faction on here, which is quite cool. There's a few little factions like that that pop up throughout the game. And that's the first, like, minor one that we've joined.
Sir?
ESO predates Tiber Septim. Yeah, because that's second era, right? Not third. And the Amulet of Kings is important to the story of that also. That's so cool.
What can I do for you?
Nothing. I'm just having a look around.
Your sword always strike true.
Thank you. Yeah, well, I don't really use swords, but thank you. Anyway, we could do the blade shield too. I mean, we're really doing a lot here just to look different. I'm feeling the sting of there not being a cosmetic slot here, because I would love to wear this without feeling guilty. Oh, I'll tell you what though. The Tower of the Nine is just a broken blade shield, isn't it? Well, the icon's the same anyway. It looks like a broken blade shield to me. I don't know. It's very dark in here. I think it's nighttime and we're in a dark, spooky little room. I haven't kept up with GW2, but I think there's a lot to appreciate from not explaining much either. The relation between the Cid and Masart War is probably my favourite part. I think... Sorry, but I think that's nonsense. Like... You can explain a lot and still have mysteries. Look at GW2 lore, right? You can have the Masart-Seer War and not talk much about it, and you've got a mystery there. There's still nothing stopping you giving you good, rich history on a million other things. You can have a shit ton of other stories with lots of history, lots of pointed, real, believable. You can build a lot of verisimilitude out of that. You can create a very authentic feeling setting with loads and loads and loads of detail. And you can just leave the Seer Masart War as a bit of a mystery. You don't lose anything. Guild Wars 2 doesn't benefit from having minimal lore in a lot of places. It's just, you know, it's all they've got to lean on sometimes, that it's a bit of a mystery. And I think that's a bit of a shame, you know. Like, one does not require the other. Oh my god, that hearth, guys. Look at that. Not to be rude, by the way. I hope I'm not being rude to anyone in the comments. I do apologise if I am. That's amazing. That guy in that chair looks like he's drowsy and sleepy, and who wouldn't be? Look at that. That's so cool. I don't remember that from the original game. Doesn't that look just absolutely enormous? Look at the way that the firelights are dancing across the floor. Are you serious? What does it mean? Double rainbow. 14 does a lot of explaining. Yeah, it still has such an element of mystery. Yeah, absolutely. One isn't necessary for the other. You can have both on that, I think. So, what I want to show is up there. So, you see all of these swords? How do we get up there? So, basically, you remember at the start... So, here's a little bit of trivia I missed. You know, at the start of the game, Captain Renault died. You can grab her katana, and you can use it through the whole tutorial. At the end of the tutorial, though, Boris, after you pick your class, Boris says, hey, her katana, thanks. I'll take that back off of you. Remember that moment? Okay, so here's a funny, weird thing about the start of the game. What you can do, you remember Boris says, wait here, prisoner. Guard Uriel will deal with this. And they run off out the corridor, and then Uriel gets assassinated, right? If you ignore Boris at that moment, if you ignore Boris when he tells you to stay with the Emperor, and instead you accompany Boris into the room where they're fighting, you can end up killing loads of Mythic Dawn in there. The quest won't proceed. You just keep fighting, right? You're fighting alongside Boris and Glenroy, because remember, Glenroy's alive at this point? But as that fight's going on, Glenroy will get cut down. Glenroy dies. Remember, for me in my playthrough, and for 90% of the players of this game, Glenroy's death happens off screen. It's behind the wall. You don't see it because you're busy watching the Emperor get assassinated. Meanwhile, Glenroy is dying over there. Funny hidden little thing there. If during that whole thing you ignore Boris's instructions, you go with him, you fight, you're there when Glenroy dies, you can pick Glenroy's katana up too. You can have both Captain Renault's katana and Glenroy's katana. And by the way, Glenroy's katana actually does more damage than Renault's. Like, the devs actually went in and gave it a bit more, so you could, in theory, start using that to cut down the Mythic Dawn there. I don't know, it's a bit weird, because you're not supposed to be in there anyway, and the Mythic Dawn are just infinitely spawning. But it is something you can do. You can actually have both katanas. And even further, if you have both katanas, when Boris says, hey, thanks for getting Captain Renault's, he'll also say, hey, thanks for getting Glenroy's. He'll take Glenroy's off of you as well. And why am I telling you all of this? Because that's them there. Boris brings them here to Cloud Ruler Temple, and if I jump just right, if you pause, you'll see these are other people's katanas. I can't, so that says Glenroy's Akaviri katana, it's there. So there's no actual requirement that you grab it or anything. I didn't miss out on this. Boris will do it after you leave to go into the sewers. But yeah, also, so that's Glenroy's there. The one on the left is supposed to be Captain Renault's, but if you actually look at the text, it says like Renault's Akaviri katana. They didn't update that for the remaster, I guess. That's a bug. That's an issue. That's because in development, Captain Renault's original name was Renault. And then later they changed it. But yeah, so this katana still has the dev name, Renault. But that's Glenroy's. And you'll notice there's space for more katanas here. You remember how I said Joffrey can die? Boris can die as well at certain points. Lots of people can die. And if they die, their katanas will also be recovered and put on the wall. I don't know what all these other ones are. They don't have mouse overs, it doesn't look like. But how cool is that? And to know all of that, you'd have to jump up and mouse over these swords. Which is pretty epic, isn't it? Yeah, those ones don't have mouse over effects. If there was a way to walk up there, I'd say it would be easier, but there's not. This feels a lot like a Skyrim High Hall, doesn't it? Oh shit, look, the symbol of Akatosh up there. And all the dragons too, I guess. In fact, look at all these katanas. There's loads of them. But it's a cool touch, isn't it? Yeah, I think if Boris dies, you collect his katana, you go speak to Joffrey. Joffrey will say, hey, thanks for this, and he'll put it up there. And all three of their katanas will be above the hearth. Biggest mystery in Elder Scrolls Online is the Dwemer disappearance. I don't know much about that. As far as I know, they achieve Chim or whatever, right? Basically, they realize they're in a video game, and then they just will themselves out of existence. They realize none of it matters. They realize that the game is a dream or whatever, and then they just choose to stop dreaming, and they just vanish. That's what I understand. They're basically the dwarves, right, of this setting, and they vanish. And they were like huge technologists. I remember, by the way, this thing with the Iliad ruins, it was really cool, because in Morrowind, it was loads of Dwemer ruins. And then when we came here, it was loads of Iliad ruins. And then, unfortunately, Skyrim went back to Dwemer again. I mean, maybe that's not unfortunate. Because they did it up a bit. So anyway, yeah, there you go. This is the heart. Now, who is this sitting here? You've been sitting here a long time. Baragon, he's reading.
Please forgive me, but I'm afraid I haven't got time to talk right now. One of the other blades should be able to assist you. Try Jenna or Stefan.
Yeah, well, he's doing a lot of his studying, isn't he? You vanish if you don't have enough willpower to fully achieve Chim.
I would speak with you.
Please, Blade, say what you will. But let us forego these absurd formalities. I am no lord yet. I would remain plain Martin for a while.
Of course, sire. I just wanted to let you know you're safe here, sir. Cloud Ruler is secure, and the blades stand ready.
No matter what happens, you must know. You must all know that I am eternally grateful for the service you blades have provided.
I have trained my entire life for the crisis that is now upon us. When the moment comes, I will gladly lay down my life for the Empire.
Well, my friend, let's hope it doesn't come to that, hmm? We'll get through this together, as brothers.
I'm sorry, sir. I've been rambling on like an excitable child.
Hard
I can
relate.
only imagine how busy you must be. With your blessing, I will now take my leave. Sir.
No, you're sitting and enjoying yourself. You can eat, that's fine. So yeah, now suddenly you just get a bunch of katanas. I remember when I was much younger thinking it was crazy
I haven't time to talk right now, I'm afraid.
That they just gave you these big endgame weapons, but they're not endgame weapons. I just thought that these were so badass, you know. Let's quickly repair here, shall we? Yeah, sorry. You vanish if you don't have enough willpower to fully achieve Chim, which is to maintain your sense of self. But I don't know if that's what the Dwemer actually did. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know any of this stuff. I'm basically reading about it in the evenings. This always happens to me with Elder Scrolls. I'll read about it, I'll learn a lot, and then like a few years will go by and I'll forget a bunch of it again. Hopefully it will stick a bit more this time.
This whole business of being heir to the throne will take some getting used to. Please bear with me.
He's very cagey and timid, isn't he? It's good to actually get some dialogue going.
Farewell, my friend.
Farewell. Oh, now ingredients I'll definitely take. Definitely.
My lord, I was wondering if I could speak with you. I understand that you have many more pressing concerns.
By all means. What do you need?
Sire, we failed your father. The shame we all carry. But we will not fail you. History will not repeat itself. Of this you have my solemn vow.
Thank you for your kind words. I never knew my father, but he must have been proud to call the Blades his protectors. I know I am.
If I may be so bold, you are the true Dragonborn, sir. There's no one here that doubts it. Any one of us would gladly die so that you may live.
Only a fool would doubt the valor of the Blades. But I must ask the same of you. Do not doubt my valor. Do not doubt my resolve. I will not fail you.
I'm sorry, sir. I've been rambling on like an excitable child. I can only imagine how busy you must be. With your blessing, I will now take my leave.
It's interesting how similar those two conversations were, but they were different, weren't they?
I'm still trying to adjust to everything that has happened.
All right, well, hopefully we'll see you later. Yeah, speaking of ingredients, there's a very good ingredient we can get here at Bruma. Now, well, nearby at Bruma. As I mentioned to you guys in the last part, we need glow dust for Azura's Star. Oh god, I'm gonna sneeze. There we go. I managed to hold it in. There's we need glow dust for Azura's Star. We can get some at the Mages Guild here in Bruma, so we'll go have a look at that.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Please forgive me, but I'm
so few of these people have time to speak, and they all have the same voices. The remaster added some more voices to the mix to make things sound a bit different, but no, generally speaking, things still seem much the same. So we can hit the target dummy. It would be cool if that actually gave us something. An armory chest. So the Dai Katana, I believe, is two-handed, and the Katana is one-handed. Regardless, they're all heavy. They're all blades, sorry, and we're blunt, so it doesn't work. That makes me think. Yeah, heavy. All right, we can roleplay as a blade for the next little while, and then we'll get our cool stuff back on. There's some repair hammers we can collect. I'm probably carrying too many of those. They're really bagging me down.
Hail!
But with our feather potions, we should be fine. Yeah, sorry. The aliens were never able to conquer Skyrim in the first era. In those days, Skyrim was held by the original descendants that came from Atmora. So what's Atmora? That's not Akavir, is it? Is Atmora another off-screen continent? So you've got Akamir to the top right. Sorry, Akavir to the top right. Is Atmora just up? Shouldn't it be like a glacial wasteland just directly up? It's pretty glacial at the top of Skyrim already. Sean Bean plays reserved characters in both LOTR and GOT. He's the same here. Yeah, well, you put him in a fantasy franchise, fantasy setting, and there you go. Holy shit. We haven't done much nighttime adventuring, but I think we're about to. This is gorgeous, isn't it? Something about the scale of the environments. That massive heart fireplace just now. Look at that with the warm lights. Speaking of Skyrim, we are so close to it. It's just over those mountains, and we can see it quite well from the top of Frostcrag Spire. So here's the question. When do we want to go to Frostcrag? I think let's do Bruma first. Hey, Earthor.
We'll get to Skingrad soon. I've had enough of the wilderness for now.
Oh, this is so funny, because obviously he's not meant to be here, but I actually kind of liked that there. I've said this so many times, right, but my favourite thing in RPGs is when you're dealing with, like, one big story and then suddenly intersects with another that is quite separate, but it just reminds you of how big and cool everything is. And I just had that with Earthor. You know, we're thinking all about the dragon fires and, you know, the main story, and all of a sudden it's back to him, you know? Which is so stupid, because this is nothing. This isn't even a story. This is a guy that should have followed us for 2 seconds.
I'll be right behind you.
Yeah, you will.
I can't wait to be back in Skingrad, safe and sound.
That's our story of being a cruel taskmaster to this poor Bosma. The Bosma are really interesting to me, where the story currently is, because they're like unwittingly vassalized, right, by the Thalmor. They're like with the Old Mary Dominion. Is that the same thing? The Old Mary Dominion and the Thalmor are the same thing? Is that right? Anyway, they're with the Thalmor, but like they don't really want to be. I think they probably have a really interesting perspective on everything. I should play a Wood Elf in Skyrim. I actually think that's what I did on my first ever Skyrim run. I didn't play a Nord, I can tell you that. And I don't think I played an Imperial. And I never play Dark Elf anywhere unless it's in Morrowind. Yes, Atmora was another off-map continent. It was originally supposed to have been a warm and green area, but some great environmental event turned it into a land of ice, thus the migration. Oh. So it is to the north somewhere. So this isn't like... This planet, Nern, it's not... We don't have to think about an equator and all that, right? I should have walked here with my torch out if we have one. So I read online, by the way, finally, torches do burn out. They burn out like every 16 minutes or something. So you do want to collect a bunch. And I just haven't been doing that. Thalmor are like the Aldmeri military, the security service. Well, I sort of understood them to be like the governing party, really. At different points in history, they've been little more than cultists and guys on the side. But where the story gets up to in the 4th era, they're like... They're of real importance. Right, what time of the day is it? It's 9 PM. So we got here just in time for every shop to close. The Nord Winds is shut. Nova Roma is shut. We could check out the chapel. Now, this is quite cool. What divine do they worship here? Well, of course, Talos. Remember, Talos is the god version of Tiber Septim. Once he ascended, once he attained divinity... Now, the thing is, Tiber Septim created the Empire, blah, 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 blah. But he was from Skyrim, initially. He was a Skyrim resident. He ended up down here. But so the people of Skyrim fucking love this guy. He's a huge, huge folk hero to them. The fact he's like their favorite god, right, really? So, of course, Bruma, the Skyrim town, of course that's what this chapel's going to be to. This is the Talos Chapel. Hello.
I'm Gan Lusef. Castle Mage and healer.
Yeah, is everyone...
Actually, I'm not much of a healer. I can blow the meat off you, but I'm not much good at sticking it back on.
Oh, God. Is everyone asleep at the moment, are they?
This is my first posting after Arcane University. The Countess and Bird like my work well enough. I understand Bumf Gragash trains other Fighters Guild members on the proper use of heavy armors.
Atmora is rumored to be the ancestral land of all Nedic people. I've noticed in Elder Scrolls, people are obsessed with that. I wonder if it, like, the ancestral lands. Ooh, like, where did they come from? I feel like that's a very American influence over the franchise, which is natural. It's an American franchise. But, like, I'm never really that interested in people's ancestral lands. But obviously, I think as a very young country, most Americans are interested in their heritage, like, much more than I think we are over here in Europe.
Be seeing you.
Farewell. It's like when you find out you're, you know... 1/16th Irish, and now you're all about Ireland and you're obsessed with it. Repent your crimes, wicked one. Yeah, okay, so because we have a bounty, we can't pray to the altars. I don't want to, though. I don't want to go to jail. I mean, we probably should at some point in the playthrough go to jail. I'm a bit disappointed in the chapels. I would have thought that the main window would change based... Oh. Yeah, I would have thought the main window would change or something, but it doesn't. It's always Stendar there, right? And Debella and Arche. You know, the more I learn about this, the more interested I am. Like, Akatosh seems really fucking big shit. Like, Akatosh seems so important. Are all these other divines really on that level? Akatosh and Talos seem really, like, buddy-buddy and cool. So what about all these others? I mean, do they all have interesting stories along that level? It's quite cool, isn't it? Maybe we should learn about some of them. There's also... So it's the 8 divines, right? Plus him is the 9th. It's like Cormyr ascending in GW. To be clear, there's an idea of another god that basically he's just filling the boots of. Not Zenithar, where is he? Talos. There's an idea that he's just filling the boots of another guy. Like, all the different religions have different names for the gods and things and different beliefs. But there's the general idea. I think the main name people give it is called Lorcan. Lorkhan. Am I right, everyone? Lorcan? Now, what I understand Lorcan to be... Lorcan was like a god of war. And maybe some other stuff. He was like there at the beginning of time or something. But got killed or died or went missing or something. His body is the moons you see in the sky. Like, literally, like, to see his realm... When you look at the moons in the sky, you're, like, seeing his realm made physically manifest. But he's dead and gone, Lorcan. And you could say that maybe Talos just sort of filled the boots years later. I don't understand at all anything that I'm talking about here, but it's something like that, isn't it? The Tap and Tack is open, it seems. Oh, because it's an inn. Well, we stayed in that inn before. Is there another inn? Bit of a miserable old place, isn't it? I don't know. I'm just not that into snow, guys. I know it's vaguely cozy. I've got a friend who loves snowy, rainy, dreary, overcast places. But he grew up in like an equatorial country. Regner's house is unlocked and open. What's going on in here? Oh my god, there's a lot of people here. Hello.
May the wind be on your back.
You guys have some Nern root, I see.
Edla Darkheart. If you want to be a marksman, I can train you. If you can breathe, I can teach you.
Well, she's hustling, isn't she? How much do you charge?
Pay attention and you can learn a lot.
Wow. She immediately got very condescending as soon as the training started. Lorcan tricked the other gods into creating Mundus. Mundus being this realm, right?
One place is pretty much like another. Regner hates it. But Regner hates everything.
Lorcan's heart did or was going to power the Numidium. That's not true, though, is it? I thought it was the Underking's heart. Is that wrong?
One place is pretty much like another. Regner hates...
Okay.
Olga sure can tell a good story. I'm not normally a big fan of Bard's tales, but she's got some good ones.
Okay.
Farewell.
Hello, Regner.
I'm Regner. You want anything? Talk to Edla. She's in charge.
Oh, I just did. She made you sound interesting.
I hate it here. Came here with Edla. All these snooty southerners. And damn guards won't let anyone have any fun. Hafid Hollowleg says that Gerald View has been doing good business.
Okay.
Goodbye.
To be honest, I thought this was going to be starting a quest when we came in here. But it didn't. I think one of the houses here... Do you remember we found that well in Cheydinhall? It said it was to some creepy sanctuary and I never pressed E on it. I think that someone's basement has something very similar to that in here. Does the UK get a lot of snow? Not really. We do get snow. We're one of those climates that's very middle of the road most of the time. It pains me to admit it, but it is very often overcast here. It's very often dreary, but it's very stable. It's very easy to grow crops. It's nice. We don't have any problems here. We don't get earthquakes. We don't get hurricanes, really. Not in a real sense. We don't get tornadoes. Not in a real sense. I mean, technically, yes, I guess, but... We don't really have big bugs. We don't have cockroaches everywhere. We don't have big mosquito problems, generally speaking. We don't have... It's just nice here. It's just really nice. Great climate, great place. But, you know, we don't... And we do get very, very hot summer days, but... And we do get cold winters, but there's not that much snow, really. Few days at most a year, I would say. People always really enjoy it when it happens. So that's Hommond's house. This is the Bruma Fighters Guild. And aha! The Bruma Mages Guild. This place will be open to us. Hopefully not everyone's asleep. The only issue with England is the English. Yeah. Damn English. They ruined England. I wasn't just talking about England there, by the way. I just meant Britain in general. UK in general. We open the door with the Mage's Guild key. Island's obviously really nice as well. Lots of bogs, but nice. When snow starts coming in here, Sweden, I always play Skyrim. It's so cozy to see the snow outside and then also in-game. Yeah, I love snow in real life. I really do. I love it. But for some reason, it just doesn't translate in games. All I want to do is be in big green forests and like beaches in games. Those are the two things. Oh, and like rivers, anything featuring water, really. Okay, so yeah, look at all these ingredients, right? We got various mushrooms. There's some cheese. I grabbed some off of there. Look at this here. Right by this. This, guys, here. This is some of the only glow dust in the entire game you could just pick up somewhere. This one pile of glow dust. Remember, this is the loot that comes from will-o-wisps. And there it is. And I kind of like that trivia because it also means I appreciate it a bit, actually seeing the model of it. So often you only see it, you know, with the icon in the inventory. And that's why, you know, it's weird that they hid it behind a keybind. I kind of would rather this UI if it popped the item preview instantly. That's what Skyrim does, right? Like, it's just cooler to browse items. But the fact I can't zoom in and out sort of sucks a bit. Anyway, yeah, that's your glow dust. So we can go do Azura's Star now, which I'm quite interested in. By the way, not to be spoilery, that is on a time limit as well. Just get it while you can, let me say. In fact, if you're going to plunder lots of stuff here, get it while you can. There's a recipe here. For a potion of cure disease, grind clanfear claws and mandrake root into a fine powder using a mortar and pestle. It will remain somewhat gritty. It can be mixed in with almost any liquid, but ordinary clear water is the safest. For a minor restore health potion, crumble some cairn ballet cap over a roasted boar meat. Chop finely, mix together with a mortar and pestle, add water to create a solution that can be drunk. Okay, hello Selena Oriana.
My name is Selena Orania. I'm a Mage's Guild journeyman.
Oh, hello. You're a higher rank than me.
Well, sometimes I feel we're not welcome here.
In Bruma?
The Nords don't like Heartlanders very much.
Yeah, I already heard that from one of them.
Did you hear that Falcar left the guild? I think Deetsan is in charge in Shaden Hall now.
Hey, I did. I was a part of that little story. Falcar did. He just vanished. That was really weird. I was thinking about that. That episode ended very strangely for us, didn't it? I don't know what... I feel like we missed a bit. But yeah, Falcar ran off. Deetsan's in charge.
Did you hear that Falcar left the guild?
It's okay. You'll get another glow dust on that wisp for the next...
Take care.
Oh, that's true. We can just keep daisy chaining the potions. Every wisp we kill gives us the ingredient for the next, for the next, for the next. And I got to say, guys, that ring... Okay, again, this quest that we started, Path of the Dawn, if you delay it long enough, that ring is so epic. Thor, are you alright here? Look, it's like we're teasing him, right? We're taking him to all the other Mages Guild chapters, just to rub it in that we're not in the Skingrad one.
I hope we'll get to Skingrad soon. I've had enough of the wilderness for now.
So, I was looking up last night what other followers we might be able to grab.
Wait to be back in Skingrad, safe and sound.
the more time I spend with Thor, the more honestly, I just kind of want to keep him. Take that bone meal. Another green stained cup cap. Ink, bone, quill. Another shopping list. Bloodgrass, Harrider, Tinder Polypore cap, Ironwood nuts, and a Stinkhorn cap. Ironwood nuts, that's not really an item we can get, the other ones are. So here's a guy, Volanaro. This recommendation quest is a lot of fun, by the way. Hello.
What do you want?
I don't know, just talk to me. How's it going?
It's a little too rugged up here for me. Add a couple hairs to a Nord, and you've got a bear.
It's weird to see an Altmer with so much facial hair.
It's a shame that Selena doesn't join in our fun, but she takes her role as an alchemist very seriously. If you need supplies, she's the one to see.
Okay.
The roads near Anvil are safer now, thanks to Carahill and her guild hall. She's an example for us all.
Hello, that was me, actually.
Farewell.
We'll speak to him again soon. He's involved in the quest here. The quest here, again, by the way, so many of them are about, well, you're missing mages. And it's the same basic setup here again. This will be the third one. Earthor was a missing mage. I can't remember his name. The poor guy that was dead in the well was a missing mage. And I'll tell you what, there's another mage missing in here. We already spoke to her, didn't we? They've all gone to bed. See, this is where, guys, right? If we were a vampire, we could feed on them now. And we could pick their pockets while they sleep. What must he be thinking? It's fine. You didn't see anything, Earthor. If you stop staring at me while I consider doing dastardly deeds, I'll leave you outside. So help me. So yeah, I guess we just wait now till the morning. We could take the Starlight and the Protect Scroll, but am I realistically ever going to cast them? I don't think so. We've got a little storeroom here. I mean, if they have potatoes in here, I'll take those. I'll take these. Carrots, some rice. If I could have like hundreds of every ingredient, I'd go hog wild with some really weird ones. So it's on those grounds that I'm thinking, yeah, let's take everything. Of course, I can use the take all keybind. By the way, the take all keybind is interesting in that if it would be stealing to take an item, if you use take all, the game won't register it as theft. So you can kind of get around raising your item's stolen value. Man, we just took all their food there, didn't we? A little bit of guilt over that. Just a little bit. Fundamentals of Alchemy again. Lots of people love that book. All right, let's wait till the morning. It depends on his stats. NPCs of low repute don't report crimes. That's true. I bet he would, though. I bet he has high responsibility. I feel like he's reported a couple of crimes already. Like, why are the guards attacking us?
How are you?
That's a good question, actually. Why are they attacking us? I bet you did report something, didn't you? Okay, hello, Volnero.
Hi there. Why, hello there.
Hello.
You must be new. Oh, it's so nice to see new faces in the guild.
So what?
If you ever need anything, just let me know. I have friends in all sorts of high places, you know, so I can get things done that others can't.
Wow.
And if I can do anything for you, I'd be happy to. Someday, maybe you could return the favor.
Oh God, I don't know what to make of her. Someone who immediately meets you and starts saying, "Oh, I know people in high places." I'm a bit like, ugh. But she does really sincerely seem to want to help me. But then she says, "Oh, you can return the favor." What kind of favor are we talking here? Yeah, what is this place like? Is it filled with a bunch of amateurs? Actually, I believe this branch is quite good if you want to buy, like, basics, like a wide range of decent spells. I think this is a good branch for that. And in fact, there's a very particular spell that I want to talk about in a second. So what do you think of Bruma first? Just let's break the ice a little bit.
You know what it's like. Make lots of friends and look busy. Same as anywhere.
Okay. Any rumours?
The Mages Guild has made more than a few...
Yeah, we heard about that. All these mages, I only ever want to talk about mage rumours. Outrageous. What do you think of what's going on at the university?
Why, all the important people in the guild are there. Archmage Traven lives there, in the tower. It's a fabulous place. You really should see it someday. I've been there many times myself.
I wonder...
The Imperial City just wouldn't be the same without it. Maybe someday, if you know the right people, you might get a chance to see it.
Well, I went to the lobby. I'm wondering if we saw Traven while we were in the lobby. This new quest we're on, the Path of the Dawn, actually has a bit involving the university. And if you've already gained admittance to the guild by the time you get there, some of the NPCs are in different places. It's quite cool. What do you think about the guild in general these days?
Guild members who have access to the university can craft their own spells, not to mention chat with the most important people in the guild.
That's true. All right, well, I'm looking for a recommendation. Are you the person for it?
A recommendation? From me? Well, of course. Raminus would naturally want my opinion, wouldn't he? This is a situation we can both benefit from, associate. You do me a small favor, and I'll happily send along a glowing recommendation. If you can find Jaskar, I'll write the recommendation immediately.
Jaskar?
He's disappeared. I mean, he's really disappeared. No one here has seen him in days. Volinaro thinks maybe a spell backfired. If someone from the council were to stop by and find him gone, it'd look bad for me. I can't have that.
Oh yeah, she's...
Talk to the mages here and see what you can find out. If you can make Jaskar reappear, you'll have your recommendation.
She seems quite self-obsessed to me. Okay, so, like I say, another mage has disappeared.
Once I can see Jaskar again, I'd be more than happy to write a recommendation for you.
You'll notice the dialogue here is written in kind of a funny way. Once I can see him again, he's literally disappeared.
Please come find me as soon as you've located Jaskar.
So, here's the thing. He's not in a cave. Well, let's go speak to Volnaro. He's not hidden in a painting. He's not dead in a well. Here he is.
Go ahead, please.
What do you know about Jaskar?
Oh, Jean has you looking for him, does she? I'm afraid you're not going to find him easily. I think, a spell backfired. That's probably it.
A spell backfired. What?
Oh, Jean has... I'm afraid you're...
Okay. Well, what do you think of Jean?
With all due respect to our wonderful leader, she couldn't cast her way out of a paper sack.
Oh.
It's insulting that we're here, working for her, when she knows nothing. She's managed to butter up the right people just enough to keep her position, and there's little we can do about it. But we have our ways of coping with the situation.
There you go. So, Jaskar is not going away. It's still lit up. What does that mean? It means if he likes me more, he'll tell me something else. So, I'm going to go to Persuasion.
For you, of course.
I mean, we're already at 67. I think the check might be at 70. So...
Don't talk such rot. Sorry, you win this one.
So I think we're over it already, but let's try again here.
My life is drab and wretched I can't argue with that.
I think those two, the choices I made at the end there, I think those two just cancel each other out.
Don't talk such adventures. How I envy you.
How I envy you. Ooh. Okay. Sorry,
That's
I don't know
just stupid.
what voice I'm doing there.
I can't argue. My life is drab and wretched by comparison. What nonsense. My life is drab. That works for me.
My life is drab. All right, tell me about Jaskar. Come on, we're friends now. Well, hold on.
Let's do business.
Let's see his spell purchases here. So he's got a bunch of random stuff here. Enthralling Presence. That's a cool icon. Charm on target. Now, that's illusion. We're not very good with illusion. We're using illusion for light, but that's about it. Consume health. Absorb health on touch. So that's what the wisps are doing to us and nuking us. Superior life detection. 120 range. Now, it's not a surprise that he's actually selling that. That will help us in this quest. Heat Shell is alteration. But didn't we buy a better version of that? I think we did already. Heat Blast. 70 points of damage on target. I'd rather an on-touch one. Heroic Touch, Rally, Summon Skeleton. Now, the most important thing, if you guys are going for a 100% run or whatever, just so that you know, he has summoned Dremora Lord. This is what Earthall has been using, right? He's been summoning a Dremora Lord to fight with us. Really incredible. Look at that. It costs 700 Magicka to cast. So you're going to really want to bump up some Magicka gear there. Get some Fortify Magicka potions going. Fortify Magicka gear so you can even cast it. Really powerful. Just so that you know, similar to the Glow Dust downstairs, this goes away later. Now, all of these other spells you can buy elsewhere and do other versions of elsewhere. This is only from him. Volinaro. So if you want everything, you need to buy this, like, now. It does, however, cost 2,000 septims. I mean, I'm not haggling. Even at max value haggling, it's going to cost me over 2 grand. So I'm not going to buy it. But you guys might like to. I mean, maybe I'll come back and buy it later. You're not in that much of a rush, but just do be aware. Just as you continue the Mages Guild. Greater Fortify Speed's quite cool. So, Superior Life Detection. I don't have enough Magicka to cast it. It costs 207. And what's my cap? I don't know. We have life detection potions, though. So, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to save, because I don't actually know... Well, I guess we'll just quick save for that. I don't know what's going to happen now. So let's ask him about Jaskar now that we're friends.
You want to find Jaskar? All right, I think I can help with that. But you have to agree to do something for me first.
Oh.
And whatever you do, you can't tell Jean about it. All right?
Okay, what is it?
That's the spirit. You help me pull off a little prank, and I'll help you find Jaskar.
A little prank.
Really? You're going to love this. I'll teach you a spell to unlock things. What you need to do is get into Jean's desk and bring me her manual of spellcraft, okay? Her room is upstairs. Make sure no one sees you. You do that for me, and I'll make sure you can find Jaskar.
How is that a prank?
Just go unlock Jean's desk with that spell I taught you. Find her manual of spellcraft and bring it here to me.
Okay, I mean...
Her room should be easy to find. It's the only one upstairs that has a door. Just one more privilege she doesn't deserve.
He really hates her. Are we sure this is a prank? He says that she can't spell. She can't spellcraft. She can't cast spells. So what's his idea? We're going to take her manual away and then she's going to be incompetent and get her just desserts. Is that what he's thinking? That's not really a prank.
Bring me Jean's manual of spellcraft, and then we'll talk about helping you find Jaskar.
Okay, so just so that you guys know, you don't have to do any of this.
Let me know when you're done with that little task.
So Earthor, I overheard that, and I'm going to tell him to wait here.
Okay.
Because I don't want him looking at me.
Can't wait to be
So
back
this
in
is an
Skindred.
actual
Safe
crime
and
I'm
sound.
going to commit here. I'm actually going to steal. If you get seen stealing in the Mages Guild, they will kick you out of the Mages Guild. You shouldn't do this, really.
What's new with you?
I have heard that the great houses of Morrowind are in upheaval. Indoril is in ruins, and Redoran is besieged by the Nords of Skyrim.
It seems that these are turbulent times in the land of the Dunmer.
Bye.
I heard a conversation
Okay.
like that last night, where they said that the Nerevarine, I think I'm saying that right, has, like, left to go somewhere else. That's the main character of the previous game. That's the main character of Morrowind. That's who you are. And they were talking about the fact that they've gone somewhere. I thought that was really cool. You never hear any information about the Blades agent from 2, or the prisoner from 1, but that was in the game. I thought that was quite cool. Alright, so upstairs, she has a door. Her manual of spellcraft in this desk. There it is. So I'm going to grab it. I have Jean's manual of spellcraft. I need to deliver it to Volnero. So, for example, here, if I had clicked take all, it wouldn't have actually counted as stealing for my character sheet. Okay, so there's a spell. That was pretty easy, wasn't it? Nobody was even up here. I mean, Earthall would have been if we didn't make that preparation. And again, we don't have to do this. There are alternate ways to do the quests, which I'll show you.
Have you pulled that little prank yet?
Yeah.
You've got Jean's book, I see. All right, then. I'll just take that from you. Meet me in the living quarters just after 10 p.m.
I think the Blades agent just disappeared. It was in the warp in the West book. We read that earlier in the series. I don't think it quite said that. There was maybe a slight hint about it. Shit, what did he just tell me?
Well met.
What's going on with Jean?
She won't figure this out for weeks. Ah, it's times like this I enjoy what I do. It was a good idea, wasn't it? I wonder how long she'll spend trying to figure out where she put it down.
Okay, so it is just a harmless prank. You're just taking the book. That's it.
Don't forget. Be down here at 10 p.m. I'll see you then.
Okay, so what you might like to know, before 10 p.m, you can find this missing mage. When they talk about a spell backfiring and the fact that he's missing and he just can't be seen... Oh, there you go. I found him. He's invisible. That's all it is. He's just got invisibility on.
Go away. You'll ruin everything.
You could speak to him and he'll tell you to go away. You'll ruin everything. Now, there's a couple of ways you can find him. You could just look around if you already know the game, like I do, and then you can do that. Another thing you can do is that spell I just told you can buy. You can use Detect Life. And I have a potion of Detect Life, don't I? Yeah, potion of Detect Life. See, if you use Detect Life, everyone will have that purple glow. And it's really easy to see that someone's standing there, as you can see. So you can spot him that way. Now the question is, well, how does that help me proceed with the quest? Go away, you'll ruin everything. Well, okay, I'll tell you something else. So this is not... a spell actually hasn't backfired. What's actually happening here is this is another prank. Volnero, every day... This is a part of his schedule. Every day, Volnero at 10 PM will go into the basement or into that room. I don't know. I think it's down here. He'll go into the basement and he will stand here and he will cast the invisibility spell on Jaskar. They're specifically making him invisible and look like he's gone missing so that she loses her status here in this branch, basically. That's what they're doing. What's really cool is you can actually stand like here or wherever it happens and get in the... It's a touch spell. So Volnero can cast the touch spell. Maybe I'll show it, actually. Maybe I'll show it. Well, there's two things I want to show. One, oh, he's moved. He's moved on. I don't know where he's gone now. Maybe in there. What you can do is you can cast... let's do this. I'm trying to explain too much shit all at once here. No, that's on self. Oh, shit. Where is he? Where's Volnero?
I hope Can I interest you in some of my wares?
Here. He's also got this spell. Oh, it's mysticism and we're too low. He has this. I guess I won't show it then. Greater Dispel Other. There's a lesser Dispel Other I think you can buy in Leowin or something. We've never been to Leowin, so don't worry about it. But look, Greater Dispel Other. You buy that. If you're a mystic, if you know this to any degree, you can grab that and you can cast it on Jaskir downstairs to dispel his invisibility. And there's dialogue for it. He'll say, oh my god, I can't believe you did it. You're a spoil sport. That sucks. And he'll go upstairs. And that's a way of completing the quest. See, when I was younger, I first played this and I found him invisible just through pure accident. I didn't realize or I didn't think to dispel him manually. But if you dispel him, that's a way through the quest. You don't have to steal the book. You don't have to pull the prank or anything. He'll go upstairs. He's visible. And you get your recommendation straight away. In some ways, this is the easiest recommendation. If you just go in there, dispel him, that's it. That's the whole quest. Of course, it requires you to have played the game and know what's going on. But yeah, he actually has both spells that are helpful for that, and he has a spell that will go away later. It's a pretty interesting vendor, I think, for a few reasons. Anyway, I don't have Dispel Other, and I'm not a good enough mystic to be able to cast that. Which is a shame, because we did pick it. It's just really hard to level. I got to get another, like, 12 levels in it. It would be such a cool thing for us to finish this quest that way. Alright, now I got one other awesome bit of trivia for you. This is brutal, by the way. The game's just forcing me to play at night all the time. You notice this. I've got another cool bit of trivia for you all. And that is that this is a touch spell he's casting on him. Let's quick save.
I hope I can help.
Yeah, maybe.
She won't figure... It was a good idea.
What do we...
Don't forget. Be down here at 10 PM. I'll see you then.
Yeah, I mean, it's an annoying thing where it's 9:13. Is it going to break now? Where is he?
Greetings to you.
Hello. In the living quarters, maybe? Because it's like an hour too late. Here he is. Okay, there's the both of us.
Ready to find Jaskar?
You can see him there, actually. You can see the effect. Jaskar.
Just watch. You'll see.
So he dispels him for us. Did he miss?
Hello there. I hear you've been looking for me. Please, don't be mad. We were just having some fun.
I think he missed.
Just get tired of Jane lording her position over us when she barely knows anything about magic. Every now and then, we like to trick her. We figured it was time to move on to a new prank. This one was getting boring anyway. So, you can tell her you found me.
There you go. Alright, so my other bit of trivia is this. Every day, they are actually, the Radiant AI or whatever is doing its thing. If you come into the basement, not as a part of the quest, right? Just generally, before you even start the quest, try this out. Come here, stand wherever Volnero goes. At some point, Volnero will cast the spell, and it's invisibility, right? But you can intercept it he'll touch you with it instead. You'll be the one that becomes invisible. And it lasts for ages. It lasts, guys, 24 hours real time. 24 hours of 100% invisibility. Now, I think it's invisibility, not chameleon, so I think the first time you interact with something, you'll appear visible, maybe. But if you want full invisibility, you can do that. And I guess technically you can steal it from him. If you wait long enough, it will run out. If you intercept over and over and over again, I don't know. Is that another way out of the quest? I doubt it. But it's funny to think you can get intercepted and you can become invisible here. And as much as he can miss the casting invisibility, he appears to have missed the dispel here. What if I just if I back out of the conversation, will he slowly appear? No, 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 don't go to sleep. Get up. Up. There we go.
Better go talk to Jean before she really loses it.
Wait, oh, well, there was loads of dialogue. Oh, we missed out, Jean.
I hope I can...
Sorry, that's Selena. What do you know about Jaskar?
Look, I like you and all, but I really don't want to get in the middle of this. If Volinara and Jaskar want to have their fun, fine. I'm not going to participate, and I'm not saying another word about it. Take it up with them.
What if you like me more? No?
I suppose I like her well enough. It's a shame she doesn't know more about her craft, though. Still, I don't quite think she deserves the hard time the others give her.
Yeah, she seems nice, I guess. I like characters like that, because there's a lot of people like that in real life, and I'm not sure I'm really on board with them a lot of the time. But it's good to have them be represented in the game. Your companion managed to get between the NPC and the door and then aggro on the NPC for that attack. Oh, he aggroed. That's funny. So they started fighting. That's awesome. I love that. All right. So we're here once again in the middle of the night and she's going to be fast asleep. God, the days just keep slipping by, don't they? I'm thinking I'm going to start resting till not so late, by the way. 5 in the morning's all right. As long as the sun's coming up. That way we get lots of daylight hours. It's like, you know, when you're playing, you want to be in the day all the time. You don't like it when the night sets. And like in Minecraft, that's the case too. And you do like the set time 0 or whatever. Set time. But it will set you to like 12 o'clock. So you miss all the morning hours. So then the night comes quickly again. So you got to like change the command to actually be like at sunrise rather than noon. Oh god, I don't know where these guys are. It's probably still they're probably still asleep actually. So I didn't really think about that. They should be up at around 8, right? I'd assume. Late night guys at the guild. Maybe they're out having breakfast or something at this point. Green dot is saying in here. When you meet Shoggoth in Skyrim, he alludes to that he's the hero of Kvatch, but it's ambiguous. Well, yeah, that's sort of spoilers for Shivering Isles, I guess, so I don't want to talk about it too much. But I have read the quote that you're talking about there, and I'm not sure I fully buy it. I mean, it's clearly... Bethesda clearly wrote it in a certain way to make you excited at the prospect, but the idea that it's canon, I don't know. I'm a novice with this franchise at the end of the day, but I don't know whether it's what people say it is.
Finding Jaskar?
I think the thing with this series is so much stuff is indefinite. As soon as you start acting like things are definite, I think you're sort of missing the point a little bit. And that the fate of the hero of Kvatch, the fate of Studies Under Stars, I think it's what you want it to be, really. In fact, I think I read a quote from a writer that said that that's what it... Anyway, we're getting way ahead of ourselves. We'll put a pin in that. We'll talk about that when we get to Shivering Isles. Jaskar, look, I found him. He's visible, sort of. Not really, but he is.
Found him, did you? Well, I suppose that's good.
Indeed.
You'll have to forgive me. I seem to have misplaced something. Yes, well, let's never mind that. You've fulfilled your end of the bargain, though, so I'll fulfill mine. Ramanus will have my recommendation.
Thank you.
And don't you forget about me once you've finished your training. I'm sure we can help each other out.
Dude, I'm sorry. She's saying that to me like all sultry and like she's into me. Don't forget about me. I'm sure we can help out. I'm not sure what she means by she won't figure this out for weeks. It will take her like 5 minutes to see the books missing. You're right, Mordy, actually. You're right. It's like, if she really does suck and she needs the book a lot, then she's going to be reading it really quickly. The only time it will be missing for weeks, well, I don't know, maybe she discovers it's missing, but she doesn't find it for weeks, is what they're trying to get across.
Half of the Council of Mages...
Yeah, I know.
Why?
Half the Council of Mages resigned. Well, maybe we'll deal with that before long. That's great, guys. So we got our Bruma recommendation now. I love how it keeps an order that I've done the quest in too. Another recommendation complete. So how many have we done? We did Coral. What was the quest at Coral? The quest at Coral was actually quite involved. We ended up going up to a dungeon. We had to use our brains for it. Well, not really a dungeon. We had to use our brains to figure out what was happening. It's quite a layered one. Skingrad took us to a dungeon, and we're done with it effectively. Earthor, we haven't cashed it in because Earthor's traveling with us, but we're done with that. Kavach, the guild, got burnt down, and we can't get a recommendation from them. Anvil. What was the Anvil one? What did we do at Anvil for the Mages Guild? I can't... Oh, God. See, that's bad, isn't it? That is bad memory. Anvil... The Ghost Ship of Anvil... Did we not do it? Join the Mages Guild. Oh, it's not tracking it for me. Oh, yeah, stopping the rogue on the highway. You're right, of course, yeah. My God, and we've talked about that multiple times today. Yes, you're right. So we did Anvil. We helped keep the road safe, basically. We went up to the Brina Cross Inn. We did Cheydinhall. That was in the last part. The well with the ring of encumbrance. And now we've done Bruma as well with the invisibility. Lots of missing mages. So there are only 2 more recommendations to get, guys. They're pretty far away. There's Bravil. Now, if you thought that Cheydinhall was a shithole, you ain't seen nothing yet. Bravil is an actual scum of a hive of scum and villainy and just grossness. And you can see we've got a quest marker there. Join the Mages Guild. And even further away from there is Leowin, which will be the last city out near the Blackwood. So, I don't know when we'll get there. Should we drag Earthor to both of them? It would be kind of amazing, wouldn't it? It would be cool. Once we've done the 2, we can enter the university and we can start spellmaking and enchanting. Now, that sounds exciting. I hear you, WP. I hear you say. Come on, Earthor. Actually, no, Earthor, you wait here. I don't want you to see this amazing thing.
Can't wait to be back in Skingrad.
Goodbye. We'll give him some time to really see if he enjoys the Bruma Mages Guild. When we return, if he's still talking about Skingrad, we'll bring him on, right? So that's amazing, WP. Spellcrafting. But can we get it earlier, I hear you ask? We can. By going up there to Frostcrag Spire. It's been in the... I think I've mentioned it on every single episode. Probably to the point of tedium. Let's do it. Let's go to Frostcrag in our Blaze gear. We're close enough now that we're at Bruma. This is about as close as the main story will ever take us. All we got to do is climb some more hills, and we'll get some incredible views. Now, I have been there before. I don't know if it's at the end of this road. It might be. I have been there before in previous playthroughs. I've never really done much with it, though. I don't think I've ever upgraded it, even once. So this is all basically new to me. I don't remember what it looks like inside. Why? That's my paint horse, isn't it? Why is it stealing? Well, maybe it's not. And I've never been there in the remaster. I only ever went there in OG Oblivion, like trying to climb the... Look at how sheer that cliff face is, right? And the Imperial City's down there. If you just try to go directly, you're going to have a hell of a horrible time trying to climb up. Oh, God, it's so... That feeling of being in the little, you know, in the towns, in the houses, and then finally back out. So this is it, the Gerald Mountains. We just got to get up there. I think we could just follow the road. That's my hope, anyway. And while we go, we have our potions, we have our shields. I feel perfectly comfortable. I mean, how low is our armor value now? It was at 85. Now we're at 59. With just the 1 shield spell. With a 2nd shield spell, though, we'll probably get it back up to 85 and we'll be fine. I feel like 85 is a really good cap. When we were playing PoE, right, PoE 2, that's what they had most of the caps at as well, right? There were there were certain keystones and things in the build craft that could let you go higher to like 95, but isn't 85 the default? I feel like it's a good value for like damage reduction to cap at. It is weird that Bethesda implemented the 85 cap for armor, but then didn't for other stuff. Like, that cap should exist for Chameleon, probably, right? That cap should exist for, like, elemental shields. That cap should exist for spell reflect, for damage reflect. But it doesn't. They let you go to 100 on those. That sort of stuff feels more like an oversight to me than, like, deliberate design. I don't know what they did in Skyrim. Did they manage to taper them off? Did they fix it at 85 for everything? Like, these big games, there's just a million ways in which they can be improved and tweaked, you know, over time. And there's just a lot of subtle ways in which I bet Skyrim did improve on the game. Okay, that doesn't really look like a road up anymore. So let's try over here. I like the Gerald Mountains. It's like a taste of the brutal north, but without us really spending enough time there to get miserable. That said, Skyrim does have a couple of good towns. I love Riften. Riften's probably my favourite. Or are those steps? I don't know. They're very snowy. Just trying to resist the impulse to climb. Oh, look, there's the tip of the tower. Or what? Yeah, the tip of the tower. Ah! Alteration mastery increased. We've unlocked more arcane secrets of altering the fabric of reality, and we can now cast journeyman level alteration spells. I love that, by the way. Is that supposed to be a tree that's like in all seasons at once or something? Hey, journeyman. So let's check out our spell list. We don't have enough magic. Cost 3, 5, 4, and my character has 194. What the shit? We need so much. Oh my god, we need a lot of magicka. How the hell am I supposed to boost it that high? My intelligence is nearly capped as well. We have 97 intelligence. Determines my maximum magicka, allowing me to cast more powerful spells. With the next 3 ranks in that, what? Am I going to be at 200 or something? So skilling it up will make it cheaper, right? Isn't that a thing? If I skill up alteration more, they get cheaper. But still, I think what we need to do is wear some enchantments that fortify magicka, or brew some potions that fortify magicka. What about ease burden? Can we ease burden? We could always do. Light and load is the next one. Light and load. Feather of 75 points for 5 minutes. We can do that. Lightning wall is too expensive as well. That's 177. In fact, hold on. Lightning wall. Lightning wall we can cast when we're full. So let's try that at least. I want to look at the active effects. I want to look at what it gives us. Just trying to find the actual road up to the place. Oh god. Oh god, there's a wolf. Oh god. I want to cast lightning wall. There you go. It's still grayed out. Looking on the bottom right now. It's still grayed out. It's still grayed out. It's still grayed out. All right, no, I was wrong. Sorry, what? We have 194, and it costs 177. Oh, my skill level's too low. What? Oh, man. So we need like a journeyman. We don't have any journeyman. We need some journeyman alteration spells, really. Oh. Alright, well, let's kill the doggy. You know what's kind of cool, right? By upping... God, I wish I could shield bash him. Oh god, slowing down is not a good idea. I just slowed down and I really shouldn't have slowed. We should have just killed him. Now I'm low and we might die. Heal. There we go. Let me check. Apparently we do have something bound already. I'm going to drink another one. No, not that. Oh. Okay. Alright, we're good. We're good. It was fine. It was fine. Yeah, I like the idea. You know, we started blunt. We unlocked the shield from power attacks. Now, if we swap to blade now, we get that on blade. So there's like some cross perk action going on. I think that's really fun. And I really like the idea, therefore, right? Think about this, guys. Wouldn't this be fucking awesome? I love the idea of leveling blade. Blade is not a major skill, right? But we level blade to expert. Your regular attacks have a chance to make your opponent bleed, dealing damage over time. Then we go back to our maces and stuff. So like this axe could be bleeding if we leveled blade up a lot. But we'd have to level blade a lot. I don't know if there's a fun or quick or comfortable or interesting way to do that. That wouldn't be tedious before we get to the end of the game. I don't know what you guys make of all that. It'd be quite cool, wouldn't it? Jesus Christ, is this still... What is the way up to the tower? But I like the idea of having the blade perks while we continue to use blunt stuff. Like, this axe swings pretty quick. Is this it? Is this the staircase? No? I guess we just keep moving around. You just regret taking blunt? Kind of. I'll tell you why I like the weapons. I like that I'm doing something a bit different. It's fine. But this temporary shield, when we're at 85 armor anyway, this is nothing. This literally does nothing. A chance to silence on our regular attacks is quite exciting. But then the master tier perk, the shield granted, is even stronger. It's going to be useless to us, really. We're already near the armor cap. It's a weird thing, but basically by picking blunt and alteration, we've like overlapped, right? Both of these kind of do the same thing. In the same way that, you know, we picked Argonian and Alchemy. You know, Alchemy could have given us the ability to cure diseases. Alchemy gives us the ability to breathe underwater. I mean, I guess, Alchemy does all of those things. But the point is, the perks we got from it don't necessarily line up. We're overlapping, you know. I mean, it's minor. It doesn't really matter. I'm not that sorry about it. It's just thoughts about the mechanics. Again, it's not a hard game. You just play it however you want. It would be cool to know that there's a really robust, like, mechanical RPG underneath it all. But I don't think Bethesda's ever been very strong with that stuff. I mean, they definitely weren't in Arena. They definitely weren't in Daggerfall. Daggerfall is mental. The ways in which you... There you go. That looks promising. Let's go up that road. The ways you could break the game in Daggerfall are just... I mean, really. And Morrowind's not too much better. They're all basically sloppily made. That's what I would say. They're all sloppily made, but you get very broken in them, and that's kind of the fun, you know? Like, don't think too deep about it. Just have fun. Because they're sloppy, but they're big sandboxes too, so it sort of works out, you know? To be fair, Alchemy reproduces pretty much any racial... Yeah, exactly. That's sort of why I interrupted myself, because it does, doesn't it? I mean, and then you've got Breton, right? 50% magic resist, permanent, always. Mental to all elements, just all the time. That's crazy. They could have nerfed that to like 10%, and it still would have been epically good. Oh my god, that thing coming over the edge there, almost, I was expecting it to be a dragon. It was like we were playing a whole other game there for a second. They seriously could nerf the Breton one to 10%. 15, 20 at a push, and it still would be OP. It still would be the thing everyone's picking. It's that insane, the way it stacks with all the other stuff and whatever. Another way to balance it would be to say you have 50% magic resist, but never higher. I know that sounds kind of unfun, but that's a bit like the action arc, you know? You get a really powerful perk, but a bit of a downside too. Holy shit, there's an Oblivion gate at the top. Is that why I saw a scamp? Where did the scamp go? Wow. That looks like a volcano. The colors are so good. Oh, again, imagine if we had an OLED. I hope you guys are watching this on an OLED. I don't know, you can't really enable HDR or whatever. The colours are so good. Oh my god, wait, so there's going to be a gate in front of the tower? Oh. Unfortunately, in the remaster, they made it that the gates can respawn, so there's no sense of permanently closing them. And yeah, to be clear, there's 100 places gates can appear, but only 60 will be active at once in any playthrough. In the original, you could close them all. In this, you can't. I mean, things will happen in the main story that means you don't have to manually close them all, but, oh, God. So I'm going to be in, like, this hellscape every time I want to come up to the tower. Look at it up there. Woohoo! This is basically the thumbnail for today's video, but without the red sky. That's a terrible place for a gate. What's Mayron's Dagon doing? That's true. It's completely out in the middle of nowhere, isn't it? Look, I mean, look at this. We are nowhere near anything. Wow. Being broken is the end game. Yeah, I mean, but it's not. That's not a binary thing, is it? It's not, oh, you can just be broken. It's like, can you be broken right from the start? That's probably not very good, right? You want to iron stuff like that out. And in some of these games, you can be extremely broken very quickly. Also, like, when you look at Daggerfall, it's like, there's so many ways to build your character that makes the game brutally fucking hard. Like, it comes at you as though it's this cool roleplay sandbox, but the truth is that there's a lot of traps in there and a lot of nasty things that you probably shouldn't do. And modern gamers will 100% just look on the internet stuff up. Oh, let's not look at the view too much until we've climbed the whole tower here. But here we go. So in the original, I think you get a quest marker here just straight away. I used to have a mod that meant someone ran up to you and gave you a note or something. By the way, there's another DLC called Spell Tomes, which is that we should be able to learn magic by finding books all around the world. And it's supposed to be that when you exit the sewers, a conjurer runs up to you and fights you. And you kill the conjurer and you find your first spell tome and it goes from there. Maybe a lot of you guys watching this video had that experience. A conjurer showing up? He didn't show up in my playthrough, did he? We never got attacked by a conjurer. Not once. We went to the entrance of Vilverin, killed the bandits, and that was about it. So I never found my conjurer. I don't know whether he'll ever show up. But apparently he's been murdering a lot of people who are trying expert mode or master. So I got a little bit lucky there, I think. They really put effort into this DLC. I mean, look at it. It's got a beautiful model. It's all very different. I've arrived at Frostcrag Spire. I should make my way inside this curious but extraordinary tower. Make this my active quest. Whoa, that is a hell of a view already. Look at the distance. Oh my god. All right, wait, we'll go up. We'll go up first. This is a cool door. That's almost like a Dwemer door? Metal door to Frostcrag Spire main level. Oh, I have to pick the lock. Okay, so Kerry taught me something here. If you guys, I don't know if you guys have this on very loud here. I'm using the mouse right now. The entire playthrough, I've been using the mouse to knock it and like to gently tip up. This is my mouse. However, you can use WSD. And you get a sound effect when you use WSD. I didn't realize that. And I'll tell you this, WASD is way easier. This is so much easier. Look, you can spam really quickly. You can get the timing. I thought I was going to fuck that up there and everyone would laugh. It's like very, very simple with WSD. I didn't realize. It's not as immersive. Using the mouse actually feels a little bit like what I think it's supposed to be. Holy shit. Oh, I thought we were in like another plane of reality or something for a second there. Wow. Whoa, there's a way up there. So we've got these weird platforms. It looks mostly disabled. I've discovered a dusty tome within the spire. I should read it to learn more about this unusual structure. Frostcrag Spire Memoirs with an icy hand. After reading the tome, I've learned that I can now put... You know what this is like? You know, in Oblivion, opening a book and instantly getting the quest marker? That quest marker should be when you close the book. But it's instant. Do you know what this reminds me of? It's a GW thing. When you get a mail at the start of a patch, you click the mail to read it, and immediately Timey starts speaking in your ear or whatever and overlapping it. Right? It's the same thing. After reading this dusty tome, I've learned that I can purchase everything I need to restore this place to its former glory from Arenanet at the Mystic Emporium in the Market District of the Imperial City. So a couple of episodes ago, somebody suggested to me that you could use her at the Mystic Emporium because she's got a lot of money, and it's because she's the second NPC in there associated with one of the DLCs. As I pen this, I gaze upon the walls of my home and remember the very day its design came to fruition. Although it seems like yesterday, it was actually many years ago. I was an impetuous wizard. I wasn't simply satisfied living at the Arcane University. I spent many years coming up with a design for my home, a place where I could practice my magic in peace and keep myself away from the prying eyes of my colleagues. I pored over tomes and dusty scrolls, scoured the bookshops of the land, and even delved into ancient ruins looking for inspiration. Finally, as I rested my weary body at a camp outside of Bruma, and marvelled in awe at the majesty of the Gerald Mountains, I became inspired. Like a madman, I began to sketch exactly what I wanted of my grand dwelling to look like. It wasn't long before I had completed my masterpiece, put down my quill, and took a step back to see what I had wrought. Frostcrag Spire was born. And now, as age overwhelms me, and the glow is dying from my eyes, I wish to give the spire to you. The thought that my dream could one day crumble to ruin fills me with sadness. I know that you'll take care of your new home, and, if need be, restore it to its former glory. Please, heed my instructions carefully. There's much to tell, and the strength drains from my limbs. So who's he actually writing this to? Just the first adventurer to get in? It's not like there was a magical lock there. Oh my god, do you know what I've just realised? There's no traps on locks in this. You can't lockpick and then get blown up by magic or whatever, right? Frostcrag Spire contains many wonderful inventions. I've spent my whole life perfecting them, and I hope you'll put them to good use. My pride and joy is the Arenanet altar. By bringing 3 salts from the very same creatures to this altar, you can summon an Arenanet familiar to do your bidding. It will obey your simple commands and defend you in times of need. Should you tire of it, simply speak to it and dismiss it. These fine creatures have protected me in my travels and should be of great use to you. With permission from the Arcane University, I've had a spellmaking and enchanting altar placed in the tower as well. You have but to provide the Mage tallow candles to power them, and they will serve you well. Working closely with my good friend Sindarian, the Master Alchemist of Skingrad, I have developed the Frostcrag Apparatus Table. This table is for the discerning alchemist, and should keep even the most difficult brews become easier to create. So, Sindarian is the Master Alchemist trainer in the game, by the way. So he's like the best alchemist, ostensibly, based on that. I've also reseeded my alchemy conservatory with the best ingredients Cyrodiil has to offer, and some from beyond her back borders. Finally, I have created portals to all of the mages guilds in Cyrodiil. This should make it easier to travel to them in times of need. I've entrusted most of my belongings to Arenanet at the Mystic Emporium in the Market District of the Imperial City. There you'll find everything you need to bring Frostcrag Spire back from the dead. She may require compensation for her time and care watching these special items, but I assure you, it is well worth the coin. Please, take care of Frostcrag Spire. She was my home, and much of myself is infused within the stone and mortar. May your journeys be safe, and the roads you travel free of danger. So let's take the book. These DLCs really have like early modding vibes, where they're it's basically a cheat mod, right? All the DLC houses have crazy shit like this in them. Like one of them will... Oh my god, whoa! Whoa! Oh, that was cool. Can we do that again? Can I see the animation again? They all just have like one of the other ones lets you like remove your infamy. One of them lets you cure vampirism really easily and comfortably. I mean, it is crazy. Ah. Oh, the lights are really good in here. Portal to Frostcrag Spire living area. Is this just lava to keep me warm? I was going to step onto it. There's ice here to keep me cold. There's the vault. Oh shit, this is cool. An altar of enchanting, an Arenanet altar, and the altar of spellmaking. Amazing. So basically, this is university level stuff. This is be able to do things before you have your recommendations done. In fact, if you just beeline here from the start of the game, you can be here in moments. Like, we didn't have to do anything. And remember, you can fast travel in vanilla, so you can go out the sewers, fast travel up to Bruma, and then just walk here. Interestingly, I don't have a map marker. Hopefully we'll get one. So we can do enchanting now. We could do... Oh, right. Okay, no, we do need the candles, so you do need a bit of money. We can do the summon, though. What type of Arenanet do I wish to summon? Well, we have loads of flame salts, so let's do flame. This requires 3 fire salts. Oh, but they're back in the... They're back at the waterfront. Ah! Should have thought about that when prepping today's episode. Well, we need candles for that as well. Look at all the books. Oh my god, so many books. So many. So we don't really learn anything more about who built this place, right? But what a house. And so, what I think this is... There's a weird thing going on with this, right? Which is... There's 4 DLCs. Each is like a different archetype. There's a really good one for like warrior characters. There's one for thiefy characters. One for evil characters. And this one for the mage characters, right? So you might say... come here on a magey type. Not anyone else. But actually the inverse is kind of true. If you're going to play a magey type, you're going to the university and stuff, and you will get an altar enchanting and stuff. What this is really handy for is, let's say I'm a thief, and I don't want to do all the mages. I don't want to join the mages guild. I'm role-playing a thief. I don't want to join the mages guild and then do all the recommendations. I'm a thief. So for that character, he can come to the tower. And now your thief can do enchanting, and your thief can do spellmaking without really breaking the roleplay, right? So it's actually useful for everyone else. You know, warriors, whatever. There's a manual of spellcraft. We know all about those, don't we? A lesser soul gem, the fundaments of alchemy, early level novice, alembics and stuff. Of course, we could rip all of this off of all the walls and decorate it however we like, if we wanted to mess about with the physics for that long, which I don't. So, the Spire living area and the vault. Let's go in the vault first, shall we? I assume this is how it works with controller. Well, controller, you get an analog stick. It should still work, I think. They went hard on physics-based traps. You're right. Yeah, there are traps, but they're not the classic style. Yeah. And honestly, the classic style where you just interact with a thing and suddenly you get nuked, it's not that fun, is it, really? There needs to be like another layer, which is the tip-off to what's happening. Wow, look at this fucking place. Oh my god. Wow. There's a lot of great art and models and things here. So this is the vault, is it? I thought it was going to be full of chests and stuff. Maybe we need to upgrade the place to unlock the vault? Buy some candles? This is just gross in here, really, isn't it? Oh, look down there. It's weird. We're standing on ice, it seems. There's not much in here. Let's go back up. Skyrim has the best traps. Does Skyrim go back to the... That's weird. We heard the door opening, but we couldn't see the door opening. Does Skyrim go back to the old style traps? Hey, the conservatory. Nice. So someone in the comments on the last part was telling me about this, or in the live chat. Someone was. They said, WP, there's 1 billion ingredients in the Wizard's Tower. I don't know if there's any like really special mana bloom, for example. Have we ever seen a mana bloom flower? It's really pretty. Dragon's tongue, tobacco. Strawberry bush. Like these as well. Mana blooms. Oh, they're all mana blooms. It's just they're different colours. I was going to say, when I said that mana bloom second time there, I thought to myself, hold on. Oh, nice. They got like a little Oblivion section. Harada, Bloodgrass, Spittlesticks. Oh, cool. All the good stuff. It's just the 3 varieties, isn't it? I thought there were more varieties than that in Oblivion. Maybe that was from Cobble. Common Oblivion. Hey, Nirnroot. I don't think that's a respawning Nirnroot. This is cool. Look, this is like the boggy area, right? Wow, it's so pretty the way they managed to stuff all this stuff in here. I hope all this respawns. That would be so cool. I don't mean I hope it all respawns in terms of I want to abuse it. I just mean it's pretty as all hell, isn't it? It's cool. Like once I've picked it all, it's not quite so good, is it? Wow, awesome. Okay, but it said living quarters, right? So there must be more. That's a portal to the Gerald Mountains. That's to the main level. That's to the Gerald Mountains. And that looks like a candle holder. So there's 2 entries. Is it going to be... This is a balcony, maybe, that we get good views at, but then there's another one that takes us to the very top, maybe. Ooh. Ah, okay, this is the teleportation area. I alluded to this. It occurs to me we could use one of these. Oh, I didn't think about this. We could skip to Leowin or something. Maybe that's how we get to Leowin. We teleport across the whole world, really miles away. Wouldn't that be cool? But here, look. So that's Skingrad, Anvil. Oh, these are all gorgeous as well. Bruma right there. Kvatch. So look, and I think this was such a nice detail. Bethesda didn't have to do a Kvatch one. And you might think, wow, let's go then. But if I press E, it's doing nothing. I think it's probably trying to give me a toast in the top left corner. That's saying, hey, this doesn't work. You can't transport here. But unfortunately, we've got all of the alchemy ingredients showing up. So that one's dead. That one's broken. It won't work. There's one to the university. Chadenal, Leowin, there it is. Coral, Bravil. We could go in this. So then there must be the very top. The main level. To the Gerald Mountains. Skyrim has chest and door traps, but if you look carefully, you can see the tripwires that power them. Oh, that rings a bell. And you can disarm them. Yeah, that sounds pretty good to me. Well, there you go. So this is the view from the top. How many times have we seen this place? Now we're here. It's a misty day, but that just casts a nice ethereal fog on everything, I think. Now, what's really fun, I think a lot of Skyrim players will enjoy this, is obviously that's towards Cyrodiil, to the south. If you actually face to the north, they modelled Skyrim, the actual landmass, quite well. And in fact, there's that giant mountain there, which is taller even than this tower. What is that mountain? That's the Throat of the World. That's the highest mountain in Skyrim and features in that game. In original Oblivion, they did also model that stuff back there, like very vaguely and loosely, but there wasn't a Throat of the World, I don't think. I think that's a specifically remaster thing, because it's, you know, I think so anyway. But yeah, it is foggy, so we don't get the full view. That's how it goes, you know. I'm sure I have ample opportunity to be here without it being foggy. I'll come up again at some point. Okay, so let's see. Should we immersively teleport back to Bruma? There are lots of quests and things to do at Bruma. Another thing I kind of want to do is I want to do another one of these Ayleid ruins. I love the idea of the Leowin thing, though. I really do. Should we travel? I'm going to do it. I've done it. We're at Leowin. Holy shit. One of the last towns. And we're in the Mages Guild and everything. Hello. There's no way back. Oh, wouldn't it be cool if these all activated as portals now? Before we just speak to, well, I don't know, they've got the Mage's die. Actually, guys, I'll tell you what, I'm going to end the episode here. I will see you next time. I think that's a really fun cliffhanger. I will see you next time. We'll figure out what's going on outside in Leowyn. Oh my god, look at this. We'll get at least one fast travel thing available. Oh god, we may have to manually travel back. Oh shit. Well, we could fast travel, I guess. Oh, we could do all kinds of things. I don't know. By the way, this place here, Miranda, it's unfogged now. Ambakano gave us that. You'll notice that's on the road from Coral to Bruma. If we'd done this in a slightly different order yesterday, we could have done this at Chaden Hall. Spoken to him. If that bug didn't happen, spoken to him, and then when we did this walk with Martin and Joffrey and stuff, we could have stopped on the road to Miranda because it's right on the Orange Road. It's on the way. There's still Ayleswell and stuff. There's so many places to go. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you next time for the next part of Let's Play Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. We'll hit our level up. We'll see what Leowyn's like. Maybe go buy some candles. Plenty to do. Figure out what the recommendation is here. I think this area of the world is swarming with Oblivion gates, by the way. So it could be a pretty interesting hellscape out there. Thanks, guys. See you next time for the exploration of the Blackwood. Take care now. I'll see you shortly. Bye, everybody.